just lift it up and get it in your face.
It's like I've never done a fucking podcast before. This is my first podcast.
Well, now that you're transitioning.
Yeah. I finally made this. I made the transition.
What's that about?
I don't know.
What happened?
Well, first of all, I had to get my my passport out just to get here today, just to cross the border. Did
you get the real ID or would you?
No, the digital. I got the digital ID actually.
Oh, good. You're totally oppressed forever.
Yeah, I'm one of the first. Yeah.
Yeah. What a badge.
Yeah. Badge of honor. That's how they call it.
So, what's going? Like,
but I do. I felt like a foreigner sometimes coming up here. I did. I got honked at a couple times.
Why?
I don't know. There's a lot of people in a hurry today. They don't on the Biden Expressway.
They don't like whites up here.
Yeah, I guess not.
No, but you got away from On the Stacks. Why?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, so it still exists. See, it's on the back of that. Well, you can't see it's on the back of the hat.
Split it around.
Yeah. Here we go.
I think, there you go. I was wearing Popco's shirt yesterday. He stopped by and he's like, yo, wear that tomorrow for Corcoran. And I'm like, no.
Shit. I should have wore it.
I don't have any merch.
Yeah, I have one of his. I actually just wore it the other day.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a while.
He's a good guy.
Catch up with him.
We should do like a Zoom with all of us.
We should.
Like an episode of just like the craziness.
The local idiot podcasters.
Yes. The malfeasance.
Yeah. So I guess there's like a little misconception. I think a lot of people are confused by it, like how I changed the show to the BCGR podcast. So I didn't On the Stack still exists, and it just I want to separate. So I guess over the last several months or year, I've sort of kind of not want to say going in a different direction, but I want to make it more clear what I do beyond my podcast itself. Do you know what I mean? Because for the longest time, I monetized the show, and that's how I made majority of the money. But then it started shifting where I started taking on more client work, where we were doing more podcasts of other people, other podcasts, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I just I want to sort of get out of the rat race of the sponsorships and look.
I don't have any, but I'm assuming it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun, sometimes, and most times. No, I mean, it was just, I evolved, I grew, you know what I mean? I sort of outgrew that. And I was just like, you know what? I could make so much more money doing the client work. And then I could just either, well, I wasn't even sure if I was going to change my podcast to the solo format that I'm doing right now, or if I was just going to, obviously just eventually fade out, with the sponsors, then just keep doing the show and, not have to worry about sponsors. But then, like I said, I always want to be able to separate me, Bill Corcoran Jr., my personal brand, because I feel like I've always had my own personal brand. It's just it was never really separated or really differentiated from On the Stacks, because I was On the Stacks. I mean, I still am, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, as I grew and evolved and started taking on more client work, and just over the last several years with all the experience I got, I just felt like it was I want to be able to separate the two and just make Bill Corcoran Jr. its own brand, and then keep On the Stacks as just the B2B podcast agency company. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, what was that moment? Because there's always this moment where I got to rethink everything.
Oh, I don't know. There was actually there was so much of that I don't know. Literally, I mean, yeah, this year has just felt like a whirlwind because I redid the OTS website, and then I owned BillCorcoranJr.com, but I never developed it until just last few months or several months ago, whenever it was I launched it. But the point is that I decided I thought it was a good idea. I don't know why. I thought it was a good idea to
because you're young and dumb.
Yeah, to rebrand OTS. Rebrand without didn't really change the logo, but sort of rebrand and repositioned the company, and then sort of removed me, Bill Corcoran Jr. Sort of from it, as just my own brand over here, and then like I said, then I also got to the point where, again, because I'm a podcast agency, offering podcast services, I really believe. I mean, I still love this format, by the way. Which thanks again for having me on, man.
You're fun.
I missed this, and it's crazy because I'm really sidetracking here, but
You go wherever you got to go,
Yeah.
baby.
Everyone's like, oh my God, what's this guy doing?
Yeah. How much coke did you have
yes,
on the way up crossing the border?
Maybe that's why I was getting honked at. I don't know. But
Gay!
yeah. So yeah, I like I said, I as I started developing some other shows, I really thought, I feel like I found like a niche in developing like these solo hosted shows that position the host as the authority in their space, in their industry, whatever.
So is that
it
more direct to camera, or is that more like guests? In other words,
no. So just what? Did you even watch my show, bro?
huh?
I'm out
Dude,
of here.
All I watch is Rumble conspiracy documentaries.
Yeah. So no, it just so in my show, in a nutshell, it's like 5 to 7 minutes long, maybe 10 at most, right? And it's just, I have 2 angles, but it's just me talking right into the camera. And all I do is like, my show now is just, it's about content creation, podcasting, and personal branding, and how to use those things to grow your business.
But why hop? Like, is there like, what's the so like?
Just to educate, to educate.
Well, I'm like a. I don't know if people know this, but I've been podcasting since like 2010 in one form or another.
You're an OG.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm an OG.
Yeah.
And I've always been fascinated by like the idea of a conversation, like a long form, nuanced conversation instead of like the sound bite.
Same. Yeah.
But like, I remember during COVID when we were podcasting, I was looking around telling my buddies, and I'm like, oh fuck, everybody has one now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like everybody wants to do a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you fall into like this weird space of like, am I a narcissist? Like,
yeah.
Like, I think some of these people are actual narcissists. Am I a narcissist?
Yeah,
Am I somebody who thinks I'm more important than I really am?
Well, yeah, here's the thing, like, so making the change, right? Going to this solo show. I mean, it was like really awkward at first. I mean, it still is awkward to a degree, but
I have imposter syndrome. I feel like I'm a fraud for everything.
yeah, well, we all do. I
Yeah.
think we all experience that, I think, to a degree. But yeah, it was definitely difficult to change going. For 5.5 years, I did interview based almost.
Totally.
5.5 years from the long form interview based to solo. But like I said, like I feel like I have all this. I have all this knowledge, and I've never shared it, right? And the other thing is, like, everybody always asks me, like, hey, but like, I always get all the people like, hey, I want to start, but I know they're never serious. They don't actually want to start a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, they think they do because they just like the idea.
Yeah, this will be something that'll be fun to do for an hour, and then you're like, man, it's a lot more work. And then once they realize that, they're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, so but like I've always gotten a million people, over the years, always asking me like, hey, what do I need to start? What do I need to do? Blah, 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 right? So I never really like put anything down like in like a document, or I never really like formalized anything like where I could just say, hey, here is this, and just go on your merry way.
Yeah, here's the cheat sheet.
Because people would still bug me anyway, no matter what, And I feel like I'm just too nice of a person to like tell people no. But
the devil's
right?
curse.
Yeah. So even though like, but then the flip side of that, I mean, my show right now, like I wouldn't even say, it's not even really built for like the beginner. That's the other thing. Like it's not like a how-to. Okay, it's like I'm not like screen sharing how to like
first you get a name.
Yeah, create your RSS feed. Like just Google that yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's just look on ChatGPT or something. It's not that complicated. But like so it's not like the cheesy like, hey, how to, here's step 1, step 2, whatever. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll break some things down here and there, but not like very beginner stuff. Because the thing is, like, I'm not really speaking my audience. I'm not, or at least I don't want to. I don't want to speak to the beginner and the creator type person. I want to speak to the business owner. I want to speak to the entrepreneurs. I want to speak to the leaders. People.
Do you think that there's going to be like some sort of oversaturation at some point where it's like everybody's?
Well, yeah, I think it already is.
Well,
and then
maybe worse. Like, so like if you look at like the
put it this way, it's gonna get ruined soon. I mean, it's I feel like it's I don't want to say it's already ruined, but it's gonna get ruined. I mean, like we ruin everything. Like us marketers, we ruin everything. Like,
my buddy calls it the race to the bottom.
Yeah, like just take Facebook for example. Like, do you remember like when Facebook first came out?
Yes.
Like, were you on like original like what was it, like 2006?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay. So
I was more MySpace at the time, but Facebook was more like, I guess you gotta have.
Yeah,
this.
like you kind of sort of had to, right?
Because MySpace had tracks that you could put on there.
Music. It was cool.
And little animated GIFs and shit.
You really customize your profile, all different colors and stuff.
And then it would take 42 minutes to load your friend's profile, and you're like, I don't even know if I like this person anymore.
Yep. But I won't go down the rabbit hole. But I mean, just take Facebook for example. I mean, like look where it is today. You know what I mean? So that's just Facebook is in social media. It's the perfect example of I'll say like us marketing. You know, we're all guilty of it too, right? Is we take something and then we realize you can make money off it, and then we all ruin it as a society.
I was laying in bed last night and I was watching YouTube, and man, I forget what I was watching. I'll have to pull up my history. It was interesting.
Probably the BCGR podcast.
Yeah, incessantly.
Definitely not.
And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, it was nice. Like, we all hated commercials and terrestrial TV, and we got away from, and we're like, oh, we can get these apps and we can get these things and watch them. And I'm watching fucking YouTube last night, and it was like the most innocuous, dumb video, but it had 54 seconds of ads. And I'm like, why are we like, we have gone from cutting the cable to adding the cable back in.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
And it's like, it doesn't make sense to me where it's like, oh, this is freedom. Like, we are going to have freedom with these apps and
but
these
then
choices.
It's not. Yeah.
It's like Hulu and Amazon. And
like you think it
we're
is.
getting ads.
And at first it is. Like at first, because again, yeah, like at first it is. But
because the taste, you get the first taste.
Yeah, that's how they sort of lure you in.
Yeah.
Right. But then like I said, I mean, obviously, you know, with technology and with everything else, I mean, and as anything evolves and grows, like you realize you can make money off of it, or they can make money off it, and then they really just it really just becomes all about the money.
Like, is there like, I can't imagine it takes billions of dollars to run Facebook. Like, it might in its current incarnation, but like back in the day,
no.
It was like, what was, like, you had free speech, you could share ideas, you could do all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube struck me, and I'm out till December.
Are you?
Yeah.
So wait, is this not going to come out till December?
No, I have other platforms,
but
right, like,
okay.
YouTube struck me for the last podcast I did.
Really?
Yeah, they claimed medical misinformation.
Wow.
Which was Nikki Stone, and she was trying to tell me, she was trying to tell a story about how she was diagnosed with cancer, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she did not want to go the route of chemo or radiation, and she was talking about what she did instead, and
that was no good.
It was
according to
the video was unlisted.
Wow.
And all of a sudden it was like boom, you're gone.
Wow.
And I'm gone till like December. And then for me to, I guess, adhere to whatever they want me to do like a quiz. And the first question on the quiz, I was like, this is a lie, and I'm not going to do it. Wow. So I was thinking,
they make you do a quiz to come back.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
You have to do like,
and you have to like probably agree to things you don't believe.
You have to do
right.
Well, yeah. I mean, if like so my
what
so
a
like,
joke.
Well, it's just interesting how pervasive it is. Like this whole, you have to adhere to what we say is the truth, because like so my Dan, who's usually working the keys back there.
Yep.
He works for this golf course management company. They have like hundreds of courses across the U.S. and every now and again he has to do the HR.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, yo, you want to come in and watch me do this HR thing? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is fucking insane. Like, it's all everything has to do with race, sexuality.
Yeah.
And it's just so bizarre. And then it's interesting to me like how pervasive it is, like even not only in business, but in like the space of, you know, where we're all supposed to be able to talk to each other without restraint, and you still have to follow the
guidelines.
I don't know if they're guidelines.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't think that it's. I don't think like. Here's the thing: at some point, all of these social media platforms were unrestricted, and the world didn't collapse.
Yeah,
and then they start adding all these things in there because a couple of people get butthurt about it.
Yep.
And then now we all like, this is how you change how culture thinks, and I don't like that because I think it's been manipulated, and it's been.
Oh, it definitely is.
Well, I don't understand how people don't get it.
I don't know either, man. I've been like
you're starting to have like this big black pill moment, and I'm watching it happen, and I'm like, oh, this is the fucking best.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I just
2 years ago I was crazy, and now Bill's like, well, maybe he's not.
I didn't think you were crazy.
I said some stuff that was fucking. It was very comedy, right? I grew up on comedians.
Yeah.
I grew up on like George Carlin, fucking Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and they would say, like, you say provocative things to entice a reaction, whether it's like, I didn't think about that, or like that was rude, or that doesn't. We don't want that to happen anymore.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy too? I was literally just thinking this. Actually, I'm considering becoming a comedian. I don't think I'm that funny.
It's hard.
No, I'm really not. But maybe. But you know why? But the only reason is because I feel like comedians. I mean, I think it would really only work if you're
I think they're the last
mainstream.
I think they're the last truth tellers.
Right, but that's my point. Is that comedians they can say things anything, like I don't want to say anything, but I'll say get away with a lot more, and they can speak the truth and not get in trouble or really get canceled like you get canceled nowadays. Like anyone else except for comedians.
Well, that's not true because a lot of them got canceled.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's acceptable. It's acceptable if you're like a mainstream type comedian.
It always was because of the idea of like the court jester,
right?
Do you know where it was
yes.
The only one that could speak truth to power without any consequence
is the Joker.
Was the court jester.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And comedy is like, especially stand-up comedy, it's a very unique thing to the United States.
Yeah.
It kind of like grew here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because of the First Amendment, because of being able, like in monarchies, it was like very few people could be the court jester. In free societies, it's like you all have an opportunity to be the court jester and call bullshit like wherever you want or make fun of wherever you want.
Yeah.
And once you start, like, if criticism and offense is the consequence of a free society, anybody who tries to take that away does not like a free, like just by definition, they don't want or like a free society.
Mm-hmm.
And free societies are complicated, and you are going to be insulted. You know, there's things that offend me, but I'm okay with people saying it.
Yeah.
And because there's no harm.
Right.
You know, so that was my big thing.
And you have to be okay with it because you have the same freedom.
Yeah, move the fuck along.
That's the point.
Yeah, it's like look, social media is retarded, and it is not real, and we think it's real. And for everybody who thinks it's real, look at the person who's like eating the best food in the best places, whatever, and you're like, I know that person. They're kind of miserable.
Yeah,
and they're an unhappy person. This is like an illusion that they're trying to sell.
Yes.
And once, like, what are we arguing about? Like, that's the whole thing where it's like this, like we're arguing about a fiction.
They're just pretending.
That's all it is.
A lot of pretending. And I've been saying this for a long time too. I think that's like one thing I'll say. I mean, this goes in the whole world in general, but obviously very specifically, I guess I'm speaking more to this area in general. Like NEPA is there's so much of that, and it's obnoxious. Like
where everybody's like a fraud,
dude. Everyone, it's all so fake. It's all
not everyone, but there's a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a real lot, and it's just a lot of fake bullshit. And I'll say politics, but not actual politics. I mean, everybody just plays a stupid politics game. Like it's so lame. Like, I think it's so stupid.
Yeah, but look at the incentive structures.
Well, yeah,
right. So like, what do we incentivize? What don't we incentivize? Like, what do we what's the opposite of incentivize? De-incentivize?
I don't know.
Anyways,
Get nothing.
So when you look at the incentive structures, because people want to get rewarded, whether it's a feeling or it's money, right? There's both those people. The incentive structure is like, you look at some of the madness today, like in the fictional world of people writing on the internet. A lot of it, like, look at the news lately. Look at like WNEP, the Scranton Times, WBRE. Like they are now posting clickbait.
I don't really watch any click on them, but
I don't like.
I guess I can kind of see like the articles I guess shared on social media here and there.
It's like well, they post a provocative description with a provocative article or a provocative video, and then like I firmly believe that they're like, oh, this is going to get them riled up.
Oh yeah, and
you're like, that's not news.
No.
You're literally just you're throwing raw meat into the dog cage.
Yeah, and it's just stirring up conversation.
Do they have a responsibility? Do they have a responsibility not to do that?
I think so.
That's my question. It's do you have a responsibility for the?
Yeah, but they're all bought and paid for.
Totally,
they are. And that's the other thing. Back to I think you said before is like, why doesn't anybody realize? Like, why doesn't anybody understand this? That thought has just been running through my head like a lot lately, because it's so ridiculous, like how people are so blind to everything, and they just think like, oh,
but they'll
like,
say
that's
you're
not true.
Crazy for saying that.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. But like literally everything and everybody's bought and paid for. Like almost everything and everybody.
Well, I used to say that everybody.
It's all controlled.
I used to say that everybody has a price.
Yeah.
And they're like, I wouldn't like people who are like when we grew up in a different time.
Mm-hmm.
Kissing guys' peepees was a weird thing back then, you know.
Yeah.
But there, you know, I'd have friends who'd be like, "I'll never do that," and I'm like, if your kid had cancer and the cure for cancer was there, you would do it. Like that's the price that you would pay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody's got their price.
Yeah.
And there are very few people who are like, damned if I do. I will never do that, no matter what the cost.
Yeah.
I will never do. Like I'll find an alternative. There are very few people like that. Everyone that like to me that means that like in a weird way, people be willing to sell their soul for the thing that they want at the moment.
Yeah, and you know, and two, actually, probably for a lot less money than you ever, or like
when you look at
a lot less money than you would think.
So I'm involved in politics, right? So I pay attention to it,
Yeah.
right? I pay attention to local, I pay attention to state, I pay attention to the national stuff, and it's always like, this is the thing that really surprised me. When you look, when you hear of stories of people who were either on the take or they screwed something over, and it's the amount of money is so minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, like he ruined everything for 5 G's.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always like, I always thought it would be like millions of dollars for you to like just totally forget about all your morals and everything. And it's not. It's a very small amount of money.
Yeah.
And that was so surprising to me about the human condition.
Yeah, and reputation. I think that's the other like biggest thing. Like besides just, I'll say like it's just like power and reputation. I think is one of the other big things. Like there's so many people back to the whole like fake living this like fake life. Like I think there's just, you know, between social media, like I'll say like locally between social media, the news, politics, everything's just like a big fake show. Like everyone is just
it's all a TV show.
Everyone's just living for this fake image and this fake reputation, and everybody just always wants to make themselves out to be like the best person, and they're really not.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's all it is. It's just like this merry-go-round of like trying to look good and like no, you know. And again, most people, they care more about their reputation than anything else. That's it.
Well, COVID was the big thing for me because let's just call it the inciting incident in my hero's journey. And I knew people, and this is where it really started to like percolate in my head, where I saw people not behaving in a way towards truth because they were concerned about status or money.
Yeah.
And when you just said what you said, it immediately reminded me of like, I knew doctors that like knew everything was bullshit, but they wouldn't say anything because of like
because of their reputation.
Something, yeah. They're either going to call me a quack, they're going to call me this, they're going to call me that, and I was like,
that's right. And then you get put over in the corner over here with the rest of them,
or in the basement with
yeah,
and we'll never hear from you again.
Yeah, you just get put on a list.
Remember those 2 doctors at the beginning of COVID that were in like the conference room? It was like March of 2020, and it was like the first video that was like deleted.
Okay,
off of like Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
They were wearing like the blue scrubs and it was like an hour long.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, these guys are fucking wrong. This is not true. They were in California. And I went back and watched it with hindsight. And I was like, holy shit.
It's crazy looking back.
Everything they said was true.
Yeah.
Everything they said ended up being
wild,
true.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And I don't know what that is. Like, I mean,
what happened in the last 5 years? That's not.
I have a theory.
We can answer. And
I have some controversial theories about it
in a few minutes. But
I think. Well, what do you think happened?
I feel like we hopped timelines into another universe. No, I don't know.
Theoretical physics says that that's theoretical.
Yeah, it might be possible, but I don't know. I don't even know where to. Like,
begin, were you even paying attention before that?
Not really.
And it wasn't until COVID where you're like, oh, something's...
Well, I think I still really wasn't even paying attention then, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know.
Like blissfully ignorant?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of people.
Just, I guess, you know, and like I guess I'll say like with my show. So I started my podcast. It's crazy. This is how I remember. So I started my podcast. It was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks before the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I literally launched my podcast in March of 2020. Go figure.
Yeah.
Right. And, but I think with the evolution of my show, you know, and then I've personally and professionally have evolved and grown as well. I think it's obviously opened my eyes to a lot, and because of the conversations that I've been able to have, and with the depth of people, and the fact that I've never been afraid to have conversations with people that I probably never would have had conversations with, or put myself in a position to have, any types of conversations with people that, like, I'll say are complete opposites to me. Like I've over the years, like, again, back when I used to do not that it was that long ago, but the interview style, but I would, share some.
It's just like fucking 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, but I don't know when this is coming out, but
probably tomorrow. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Keep going.
Be out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
No, but like I would share like, oh, I think I'm be telling like some people like that I was friends with, oh, hey, I think I'm gonna have so and so on. They're like, why would you do that? And I'd be like, what do you mean? They're like, you have nothing in common with that person. I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. And
they're like, huh? They're like, why would you do that? I'm like, what are you gonna talk about? I'm like, what? I'm like, who cares? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about. And it's like, and the thing is, I think the other thing is, I think you can always find a common ground with somebody, no matter, even if you don't think you have anything in common with it. There's always you could. I mean, at least I could anyway. I don't know. I guess I'm more open minded than most people. But
like, you'd figure if you're sitting with people who disagree and you're like, I love babies, you don't want the other person to be like, I hate babies.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're a psycho. Like, all right, we don't have anything in common. Did you find that, like? And I think that you're right. I think that, like, through having conversations with very diverse people, you start to get your perception starts to change.
Yeah.
And do you think that there's, like, as far as like getting an education in like a topic or an issue or a person, is it better to like read the article, or is it better, like, do you get more out of it by sitting and having the conversation long form with nuance? And does that make you, I feel like it makes me understand it better than like just reading a story about a thing.
Yeah, well, because I feel like a story is just so black and white.
Well, and it's biased too, because there's a point of view from the author.
Yeah. But I also just think too, I mean, like, I think everybody should figure out and do their own research, like go like and actually form their own opinion, not just.
That's a pejorative now.
Yeah.
If you're like, do your own research, they're like, what, you don't listen to doctors and scientists? And it's
right.
Like, what the fuck?
It's
they're
like
never wrong.
Yeah. It's like whenever, like when I see something online, and if it's something that I'm like, oh, like that's crazy, I can't believe that's happening. I sit back and be like, but is it really? Like, okay, so let me see, like, is this even true? Is this even true? And let me see what I can find online beyond, I'll say, like this article or this social media post or video or whatever it is I came across. What I do is I will, if it's something I'm passionate enough about that I want to either understand better or know more, I'll just go online and I'll try to find the truth of what I think is the truth.
The source.
Yeah, I'll try to find the source. I'll try to find credible,
because it has to come from somewhere. There has to be like an
so
embryo of the idea.
Yeah, so I try to find credible evidence that points to what might be the truth, and then for me to justify, like, okay, like, yeah, what that person is saying or what that video is or whatever it is, that article is true, right? Because like you just don't know anymore. Like everything out there is everything's just so bizarre nowadays. But I don't know. For me, I spend the time now to, again, if it's something, important that I want to understand or learn about, like, I'll literally just go and just look it up until I can figure it out and understand it. And like I also just I don't really like talking about things unless I don't think there's really any sense in sharing an opinion about something if you're not that knowledgeable about it. I'd rather just say, like, I just don't really know enough about that.
When you read the articles, sometimes do you notice the language that they'll use, where it's like the headline is X, but then when you read it, it's like the second to last paragraph.
Yeah.
It's like X has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's like people say this, and this could be like, those are the things that like I try to educate people on, where it's like, and who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? I'm just a guy with an opinion who says maybe you should think differently for a moment. I try to like say, like, look at the words that, like, they'll say a thing and they'll say experts say, or this could be.
Yeah, it's like, well, who? Well, who?
Well, it's not even that. It's like the language is it's not affirmative.
Right.
It's just language
it's just
that's
like you or I could say that.
Yeah, guy walking down the street was saying this, so we're going to write an article about it, and therefore it's true.
Yeah, right. Like, what? But then the thing is, like, it's mainstream media that pushes that. It's like, well, like, okay, well, now, like, of course, I hate to say it, but like most of the idiots in this world are going to believe it, because
how do people not understand So like you live around here,
Mhm.
right? I'm sure you know a politician or two.
Mhm.
I'm sure you know a business owner or two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know people in the media.
I think I know more than I would like to know. How about that?
I know quite a bit. And it's always interesting to me because like, so my buddy calls it a fractal problem, right? So like the issues that you experience locally, you could transplant them for the state, you can transplant them for the nation.
Mhm.
So it has to do with healthcare, it has to do
Yeah.
with insurance, it
Yeah.
has to do with politics.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a Mad Lib. And all you do is like you take this person's name out and add the state person's name in, and it's the same scenario. It's the same type of person.
Cut and paste.
Cut and paste.
Mhm.
So which means like this is like some weird hierarchical
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, like if you can understand the local stuff, then you can understand the national. Some people care more about the national. If you can understand the national, you can therefore understand the local. So if you're like, oh, president can be replaced with mayor or governor. CNN could be replaced by like WNEP or the Scranton Times,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't understand that. And I bring that up to say that it's all these people go to dinner together.
Mm-hmm.
They go get lunches.
Yeah.
They're not enemies. They believe the same shit. They talk about the same shit, and they bring that idea to the masses, and it could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very disconcerting to me, to be like, especially with the advent of social media. I remember when social media first came out, I was in film. I was in film school. So it's like 2003, 2004.
Okay.
And like I went to a very liberal college, and I was very liberal at the time. And I remember like the first like Facebook or the first MySpace fights and all that shit. And I remember looking at people going like, we were never meant to know what each other thought. And that's what it became, like this diary where it's like, I have a thought and I'm going to put it out there. And it was encouraged.
Mm.
Like the app was encouraged for you to do that because the engagement was the thing that mattered.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what people don't understand about social media. It's about, they don't care about your fucking opinions.
Yeah.
They care that you're using the product.
Yes.
Whether it's through
Keeps
rage.
you on the platform.
Yeah. There's very few people who are like, puppies. I'm only on Facebook to look at cute puppies.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just rage.
Yeah.
And the algorithm serves you the rage because it
Rage
knows
bait.
so it knows that you're going to engage with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it knows very well.
Do you think like that seems like a psyop? That seems like some sort of intelligence beyond Mark Zuckerberg in his dorm room in Harvard trying to
now
meet
it is.
chicks.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it is.
Do you think it was taken over? Like, do you think a good idea was poisoned?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the whole thing, like I said before, about like, you know, we ruin all good things, right?
Yeah.
Right. We do. We ruin all good things. We do. We do. We do. We ruin everything that's good
Why though?
because we exploit it to make money.
But do you think that
and
that's
power
like,
and control?
But do you think that's like I think that is not an individual person issue. Like I think like people are encouraged. I don't think people are like, there are some bad people on this planet,
Yeah.
but most people don't want to be.
Right.
And I think that like all you need is like a little gust of wind. Maybe that's the scary thing. Like you just need like this little gust of wind, and then everybody's like, oh, okay, we'll march that way. And it's like, they know, like, I firmly believe that for centuries, maybe even millennia, they have known how to change the direction that the birds go. And whether it's like the printing press or fear or threats or social media, like it's not cool to assassinate people anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what's funny?
Like World War II shit.
I forget. I don't know what you just said, but something triggered it. But I just saw something recently. A quote that said, "Fear is stronger than love."
Totally.
Actually, it was actually Tupac. I think that said. I shared it on Instagram actually a little while back. But fear is stronger than love. So I think
it's a more persuadable emotion.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're more likely to make a decision out of fear based than anything else. And you'll also sooner betray even people that you love because of fear, right? So I think like fear is what controls people, right? It's kind of going along with exactly what you just said. And I think most people just become fearful. Like most people just go through life like not even, I don't say not caring, but they just They go through life.
They have their problems.
They don't pay
can't focus
attention.
on the other shit.
Right. They don't pay
They don't have
attention.
time.
They don't pay attention to anything. And like I said, like I'll even put myself in that category, like going back like years. I'm going back like years, but like where, again, not that I didn't care about anything, but like I just maybe wasn't paying attention. Again, don't want to say I didn't care, but like I just wasn't really paying attention. And everyone's busy, right? But I don't know. Like I said, like I think fear is what holds a lot of people back from sharing opinions. Fear. Like everyone's afraid of like losing something, like whatever that is, like whether it's your job or whether it's friends or your reputation. Again, like you know what I mean. Like it all plays into it.
I always thought it was so like that can work. It's a manipulation. What was it? Who was it? FDR. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Like those are really profound words, but I think that they've never been explained appropriately.
Yeah.
I think people are just like, okay, we just got to fear the Japanese, or we have to fear, and it's like I think whether or not he was a good or a bad president, I think those words are okay because it's like if you are the most successful, happy people I know are fearless. And it's not to say like if the lion's in the yard, they're not going to be like, I'm going to go pet the kitty.
Right. It's not going to be like, oh, no big deal.
Yeah, but they're not going to be afraid of things that like don't make sense.
You're not going to be afraid to confront it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Like, and like I said, like I've gotten to that point in my life where like I'm not afraid of anything. Like I'm not afraid of people. I'm not afraid of like, I'm not afraid of confronting anyone. I'm not afraid of being confronted. I mean, it's just like, whatever, man.
Have you gotten shit since you started this?
What's that?
Like from people?
Oh, yeah, a little bit here and there. I mean, really not that much. I've actually gotten more support than.
Do you get called a racist, Nazi, bigot, transphobe?
No, I
homophobe.
No, I actually haven't been called anything like that. Actually, surprisingly, I've just been like, I just say I probably lost a few friends, but I wouldn't really even have considered them like friends to begin with. They were just like one was like an old client that followed me on social media.
He's just like, you went too far.
Yeah, like they just they didn't agree with what I said or shared, so like they spoke up, and then the thing was, every single one of these people that first of all they all confronted me, and then I just tried to make conversation with them, like, and ask them a question, and then once I asked them a question, that was it was over. Then they blocked me.
Give me an example.
I asked like so there was
what was a confrontation? You don't have to be specific, but like,
well, I feel like I would have to. So I mean, it was in regard to Gaza and the genocide. That's happening. Yeah. So
for all those that don't know, that's happened.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, it's still. I don't think it's over. But
I don't think it either.
But I had somebody.
So this is recently.
Yeah, very recent. Yeah, and she replied and I don't remember what she said, and not that it was irrelevant, but I don't remember exactly what she said. I don't want to butcher it, but I could tell that she didn't like what I had to say. Yeah. And then, I could tell like she was getting sort of like combative and like sort of like argumentative and like was saying things. And then I just like, again, I asked her, I said, do you think it's a genocide? And she refused to answer the question. And so when I asked that the first time, she responded to me, but didn't answer the question. She just either took a personal shot at me, made fun of me, whatever.
I find that a lot.
Or just not change the subject, but she talked around it so she didn't have to answer it.
Right.
And I'm no dummy. And I also, it's like, first of all, like I only asked her one question. Do
you think it's a genocide?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And, so again, she refused to answer it. And so, she didn't answer it. And then my response back, I said, hey, you didn't answer my question. I said, again, I asked her like 3 or 4 times, in the course of this, like, several message exchange. And then, again, it just got to the point, like, she started calling me like names, like not like usually call me like a Nazi or anything like that, but
anti-Semite.
No, actually didn't. Like I said, she didn't. She just made fun of me and made fun of my podcast. Just like took like personal shots at me.
I get that a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like I every time I did that, I was like, listen, I'm like, what? I don't understand. Like I didn't even fire anything back at her. I was completely nice and nothing. I just said like, hey, like I don't understand why you're attacking me.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I said. Like I don't understand why you're attacking me. Like, why are you acting like this? Like, I'm just asking you a single question. Like, you messaged me, first of all.
Yeah.
Okay.
You knocked on my door.
Yeah. Let's clear that up first. So you messaged me and challenged me. Okay. So now guess what? I'm gonna challenge you back. Answer the question. And if you won't answer the question, then what are we doing here? Like, this is irrelevant. And clearly, if you can't answer the question, you won't answer the question. I think, I don't want to assume, but I think we can all assume what we know what the answer is.
Right.
So, and by the way, her answer ended up being, so she did give like a half answer. And her half answer was, she basically said, she didn't say yes or no, because she wouldn't give me a yes or no answer, but she said, what'd she say? She said, I'm not pro-Palestine, I think is what she said.
What does that mean?
Well,
but like,
means
I think
my interpretation was that my interpretation of that is that she agrees with what's happening and thinks it's okay. That's my interpretation, because she didn't want to say it.
Do you think it's okay?
No, it's not okay.
Why is it being? That was a strange thing for me, because as soon as like,
because like then, you know, I understand the argument of people like, oh well, you support terrorists. No, I don't. But
two things can be true at the same time,
right? And what I don't support is mass murdering of innocent people. I don't care what race, religion, color, don't matter.
I don't care who's doing it and who's receiving it.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
So
that's what I don't support.
I have this buddy who's he's a Green Beret, right? He's in Special Forces, really great guy. He's actually really good friends with Bobby Kennedy, which is really crazy, because I'd be sitting with him and he's texting Kennedy and he's texting him back, and I'm like, what fucking world am I living in here? And I have another buddy who's an Army Ranger. They're buddies, and we went on vacation together last year, and we got into this conversation about like war and what's right and what's wrong. And he had like this really interesting take on it, which I didn't really understand. And he said something along the lines of, he goes, the difference about American soldiers is throughout history and everywhere in the world, they didn't care about civilian casualties.
Who didn't? Who doesn't?
Whatever the other army is. Most of the time they don't care. So if you look at World War II, it's like, all right, well, the Nazis are bombing London, and then the British are bombing Berlin, and nobody there is going like, the bombs don't discern on which houses are children. It's just like open the doors and boom, 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 right?
Okay.
He goes, the thing about Americans is like, we try as much as we can to not do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no one else does that.
Right.
And this started like this big conversation, and ultimately like the resolution of it was like, on the whole, America tries not to do that. Mm-hmm. You have instances where it's like, what was it? I think it was like the beginning of Biden's the fall of Abbey Gate in Afghanistan, and then like a week later they fucking drone bombed this whole family in Afghanistan, and there was uproar over it because it was like, number one, this guy had anything to do with the enemy, and you killed like 12 children. Mm-hmm. And we kind of just like sweep that under the rug. That's why you see people in America get like really upset about that. Yeah. Which is a very Christian thing.
Yeah.
That the innocents are innocent. Mm-hmm. And it seems like over in the Middle East, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about children. They don't give a fuck about innocent. They don't give a fuck about any of that, because we now fall in like these. This is what bothers me about America, is like we now have like this binary. You're either with us or you're against us, and the world is not like that.
Yeah,
you know. And
the rest of the world isn't like it. Yeah.
No. There's nuance, and there's I can be. Should you drop the bomb? It's like this terrible devil's choice where it's like, do you drop the bomb and get the bad guy? Meanwhile, killing 40 people at a wedding. Or do you not, because you're going to kill 39 innocent people? Mm-hmm. And they call it collateral damage. They make up a vocabulary word for it to make it seem like it's okay. Oh, well, that's just collateral damage. And it's like, not. Those are people's lives. Mm-hmm. I don't care about, I'll never go to Palestine. I'll never go to Israel. But they're people too. They're all people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think that like, why is that such a controversial thing to be like, we should not kill innocent people? We should also not support anyone who kills innocent people. History is there for us to learn. Did we learn nothing from World War II? Did we learn nothing from World War I?
Clearly not.
Did we learn nothing from the Bolshevik Revolution in communist Russia? Did we learn But that's... No. But I think we think we're so fucking superior, and we're not.
Yeah, because I think everybody's just a bunch of idiots. I don't think anybody ever learns. I don't mean to laugh because it's not a laughing matter, but I don't think we ever learn. I think all we do is just keep making the same mistakes. I think that's it. And see, it's crazy when you think about that.
I try to. I always thought history class was when I was a kid, they told us in history class. I always loved history class. It was the only class I really enjoyed. And they're like, and I remember every teacher telling me, they're like, history is here so you don't make the same mistakes. You learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing.
What are we doing?
Nobody's got an education in any of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing against the Jewish people, but it's really hypocritical for that to be it's like, remember Germany in 1940s?
Yes.
But make sure you forget Gaza in the 2020s.
Right. Mm-hmm. It is very hypocritical. 100%.
We're both gonna get shit for this.
Why?
It's bizarre.
Well, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't.
But we're gonna.
I don't care. I mean, I don't, because it's the truth, and people don't like the truth. That's why you're gonna get shit for it. There's people don't like the truth.
There's people on the right. I started to question all the Israel stuff when I was told I can't question the Israel stuff. It's like foreboding.
Yeah.
And then you hear all the politicians going like, the America First ones. They're like, yeah, it's America first and Israel too. And it's like, why isn't it like Bolivia? Why isn't it Brazil? Why isn't it Britain? Why is it Israel? Like, why can't we criticize the government of Israel?
Yeah.
Like, that's strange to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because in history, by the way, it's a funny thing. So anyone when you criticize Israel, like, first of all, like, did anyone mention the word Jewish? I didn't. I said Israel.
No, they hear it.
No, I know, but but that's the thing, right? So like, it's like somebody gets mad. Like if I question Israel right now, I just said Israel. Did you hear me say Jewish? No, I didn't. I said Israel. I said the government, and we're talking about Israel, like the state of Israel, right? Like, there's other people besides Jewish people that live in Israel, right? So why does everyone just assume that everyone's Jewish, or that somebody, just because somebody is doesn't agree with Israel doesn't make you against Jewish people?
Right.
I mean, is the majority of people Jewish? Probably. I don't know. I don't
like Italians, but that doesn't mean I hate Catholicism.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But
I do love Italians. I am part of
the
Italian.
record. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's a weird thing, isn't it?
In my experience, when they tell you not to look under that rock, there's something under that rock.
Always. And I will always look under the rock.
Yeah. So when it was like, it was just so. The Israel-Gaza thing, it was like the beginning of it. First of all, they've always been throwing rocks at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some would say that the Palestinians are justified. Some would say that the Israelis are justified. I don't think anybody's justified. I also think that, like, it's pretty fucked up. The history of that area is pretty fucked up. And they don't want to. There's a couple of things that make me go, something ain't right here. One of them is, do you know what anti-Semitic means? It's crazy that everyone throws the pejorative around all the time, but nobody really knows what it means.
I looked up the definition recently, but I forget.
Do you know what
the exact definition is?
So if you're anti-gas pipeline,
okay, is
that pretty understandable?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what Semitic means.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it was actually, and I mean this with all due respect. People are gonna get mad when I say this anyway, but it was a made-up word to be against. It was a term made up to call people that don't like Jewish people, right? Is that
no?
It's not. It wasn't.
Semitic. Semitic just means people of the land.
Oh.
So okay, if Native Americans,
I thought it was so, but it is only used if you
in that context
in that context against Jewish
very strange
individuals, right?
Very strange. So if I'm anti-gas pipeline,
mm-hmm.
it's not a specific pipeline. It's just I don't like gas pipelines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So anti-Semitic is the people of the land.
Okay.
So I'm against the people of the land.
Okay.
The argument is, who are the people of the land?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, to me, it really doesn't matter because land gets conquered all the time.
Right.
You know, the people who were once there are not there, and then sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. It just is what it is.
Yeah. Or never.
Or never. And the crazy thing about, like, if the country of Israel believes so fervently that that is their land, they should allow DNA testing to show who is from that land. And they don't. The country of Israel really does not like DNA testing to show that the people are from there. Which I found out, it was like, that's weird. Like, wouldn't it prove the point? Like, wouldn't it be the thing that you're like,
you would think, yeah.
If you're gonna go down to the narrative of
just prove me wrong. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you from here or you're not?
Solve it once and for all.
And most people they just last week got rid of a Christian village in Israel. Everybody had to go. And it's weird to me that it's like we talk about like these Judeo-Christian values, which are not synonymous. They should not go together.
No.
But it's used as some sort of marketing term so that everyone thinks like, oh, we're a nation of Judeo-Christian values. And it's like, not really.
No.
And to literally remove people from an area, like we wouldn't be okay with that here.
No.
We wouldn't be okay if the United States government went into some Minnesota town and got rid of all the Islamic people. We would not be okay with that.
No.
How are we okay with Israel getting rid of a town or a village of 100 Christians?
I don't know.
The closing time.
It's a double
You can't
standard.
go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah, it's a double standard. Yeah.
But that is deception.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
This is such a hot button topic. Like, nobody wants to talk about it.
Oh, I don't care. I'll talk about it. Yeah. No,
it's very concerning to me. It's like we either stand for something and we abide by those morals and those values, or we don't. Well, we can't allow other people to do the things that we wouldn't do and say they're our friends.
Well, I think the most people I think the reason, like, I'll say, like, a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of, well, I think everybody has an opinion, just no one's afraid to talk about it or share it. And I think most people that are in a position that have any knowledge or can, we'll talk about it, like I'll say they're in powerful positions in some sense, right? Whether it's business or politics or whatever. And the reason that most of them aren't going to talk about it is because they're all bought.
Yeah, this if I talk about this, it affects my bottom line.
You?
In some way.
You?
Me? No, I'm never.
You personally?
No, I'm just saying, generally.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
I mean, I'm German. I've had many Jewish people, hear my last name and go, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. And it's not like a bad thing or a good thing, but it's like, if I would be treated differently.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe better.
Yeah.
Probably better.
Yeah, you would.
And I don't believe in that. I don't care what your last name is. I don't care where you come from.
Right. I agree.
You're not akin.
I agree to that. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I think most people, again, like, and obviously this is more like political, but this is also like, just in business in general, like the way that money works and that people do business, and it goes around in a circle like this. It's like you'll lose business, like you'll lose money, and again, like just let's just take the Charlie Kirk thing for example. Charlie Kirk wanted to pull out of his stance on being pro-Israel, and let's just put his murder aside for a minute. Like, the money stopped coming in, right? Like,
he was threatened with it. He was threatened with taking the money.
Yeah. No. They were pooling money. So like,
they pulled millions of dollars like a few days before. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So again, think about that. So like, it's just, my point is that anyone who's in a position that, has an opinion, and especially somebody who has an influence, and in Charlie's case, an extreme influence. He has a very profound influence on not just the country, but the whole world. And when when money, he's being paid by these individuals that have a certain view, they're only giving the money because of he's saying opinions in a certain way. Once he changes his narrative, there goes the money.
Sure.
So that's it. Like, so, right. So most people are afraid to talk about it because they probably have some sort of tie like that, where if they share their opinion, they're going to lose money. That's it.
It's not like there's family members that you could love with all your heart that do things that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you don't care about them.
Yeah.
It just means that, like, I don't think that that's wise. I don't think that you should do that. I think you're causing more harm.
Yeah.
And it's like, once you go against that, like, it's like addicts. It's like, once you say, like, I love you, I don't like the fact that you're shooting heroin between your toes, I think it's going to lead to a road to ruin. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You don't care about me. And it's like, no, that's exactly, the criticism is that I care about you.
Yeah.
I want you to be better.
Right.
I want you to not harm yourself.
Yeah.
I want you to not harm the people around
you. You should want those people to say that to you.
If you don't, you allow terrible things to happen.
You're doing a disservice.
Yeah.
It's an injustice.
What do you think about the Charlie Kirk thing?
Oh boy, how much time do we have?
I'm trying not to like. I'm trying not to like get caught up in the Candace Owens, all that stuff, and
it's hard not to.
And I will.
There's not much out there. There's not.
Well, I'm going to preface it by saying this. If you have the Candace Jones was right, or the Candace Owens
yeah.
and the Alex Jones jars and then you have like the CNN jar and the MSNBC jar of who was right.
Mm-hmm.
The Candace Owens and the Alex Jones jar are way filled up with a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they're more right than they're
winning.
wrong.
They're definitely winning.
Yeah. And I think that's objectively true.
Yeah, and again, it just goes back to the whole thing was as we were saying. I feel like maybe before this whole time is that the media isn't going to tell the truth. And again, the media is all bought. It's all owned by somebody who has a specific stance. And guess what? They're not going to want the company that they own, even if it's a media company that's supposed to tell the truth. They're not going to want that media company to tell the truth because they don't want the truth to get out. And that's why they own the media company. Right?
And in that moment, that information is now suppressed.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
Because we don't like the truth because it's inconvenient.
Yes.
And it tells things
it's revealing.
About people. It's very revealing.
It's revealing.
Very revealing.
Yeah. So like, why do you think all these billionaires all own media companies? Because
the Larry Ellisons.
Yeah, because the media companies are what basically control the world. Like, I mean, like control narratives. They control what
perception.
Yeah, that's right. And most people are too stupid to believe what's on the news. And
do you think they're incurious?
Hold on, wait. Most people are too stupid to believe what's on the news and what's not on the news.
Explain that.
Meaning,
I'm more interested in the not on the news thing.
Well, yeah, like, or people like if it's not on the news, they don't believe it.
Yes.
Right. So if it's not on the news, they don't believe it. It's not credible. Why?
See, but the thing I don't understand about, like, this is the thing I keep trying to.
There's a lot of bad information out there. Let me just say that first.
There is.
Okay, there's a real lot of bad information all over.
I was watching this.
And we've all fallen for bad information.
I was watching this interview with this this government guy. He's like out of government, but he was involved in. Did you ever hear something called the Smith-Mundt Act?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so like in 2012, Obama repealed something called the Smith-Mundt Act, and it has to do with, like, strangely enough, it has to do with like radio communications that Cuba was picking up from Miami, right?
Okay.
And the Smith-Mundt Act basically said, it was after the Nuremberg trials of World War II, that you cannot propagandize your people. You can't coerce, you can't manipulate, and you can't threaten to reach a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, we watched what the Nazis did, and we don't want to do that here.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When he repealed that, it opened the floodgates for basically mountains of misinformation, because now there's nobody held accountable. The government's not held accountable. The fucking media companies aren't held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at like Google searches and things from right around that time, all these crazy things started to spark up. And it's not like the Google searches, it's like incidents of use. So if you look at like incidents of use of racism or white nationalism or Christian nationalism, basically like all the Handmaid's Tale stuff. The instances of those appearing in media skyrocketed
Mm-hmm.
because they knew that there was no consequence for moving the birds wherever they wanted to go. So we're living in this information age of disinformation, and the people that are trying their best to tell the truth are now considered the pejorative of disinformation, misinformation, malinformation.
Mm-hmm.
But and the guy I was listening to said right around 2012, they realized that like you can't keep the truth genie in the bottle anymore. People are going to figure out what's going on as more things get connected, as more books get scanned, as more all this shit gets, basically the Library of Alexandria is now at your fingertips.
Yep.
So they couldn't stop the information. So they just created more information to muddy the water, to fog up the sunset. Yeah. And that's what I think happened.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Definitely.
And that's what you see. You see like all these generations of people who are like, that's why everybody hates the boomers now. They're like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
But they believe like wholeheartedly in like,
I forget.
They grew up on like Dan Rather and Walter Cronkite and Peter Jennings.
Yeah, they had like 2 people to watch. That's it.
That's true.
That's it.
But that was the source. That was that was their truth. And most of the time, like 60 Minutes back in like the 90s wouldn't lie to you. Mm-hmm. They would tell you and they would be objective. And then now it's like, you believe this or you are not us.
Yeah. And like I said, and now I just think there's just more at stake now. There's more at stake and more money. It really, I won't say it's all about money, but it basically is. But it basically is. That's it. It's basically all about money. That's it.
I don't know any other way around it.
It's
unless
like literally all about money. It's just whoever's paying the most.
The only way out of it, I think, is to convince everybody, good luck, that they are not dependent on any of this. They're not dependent on the grocery stores. They're not dependent on the fucking water companies. They're not dependent on the telephone companies. They're not dependent on the cable companies. They're not dependent on the government,
mm-hmm.
which is basically I'm advocating homesteading. And that is like, I think that is like the truest freedom. That is the aspiration that everyone should have, where it's like, I'm totally self-sustainable. And that's the way, I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
I think that's the way it was supposed to be. Or at least it used to be that way.
I mean, we all survive for like, but that's
technology and everything else.
That's my big thing. Like, even with the vaccines, it's like, how the fuck did we survive for thousands of years without the hepatitis B vaccine? Like, how did we make it this whole way where it's like we have to like inoculate a 3-minute-old with Hep B, which is an STD from sharing dirty needles?
I don't know.
Don't follow the money.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it's a mix of everything. I think it's a mix of again, money, right? Money and greed, but then I will say like I'm not saying the whole vaccine thing that could be a whole nother rabbit hole, but
I'm just saying objectively. Yeah. Like, forget about like the last 5 years of vaccine hesitancy and all that stuff. Like, why would it make sense to any parent to be like, but my newborn baby is not an intravenous drug user, nor is the mother.
Yeah.
So no one's going to take a Tylenol because they're feeling good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's like, no one's like, I don't have a headache, I should take an Advil. Yeah. I should be forced to take an Advil because I don't have a headache.
Yeah.
And that's not a crazy proposition. I'm sorry, man. The vaccine stuff really bothers me.
Yeah.
My cousin called me the other day. Did you see? So my cousin calls me and he's dating. He used to be a hardcore liberal like me, and now he's kind of like to like a '90s Democrat. And he called me that he has this. He's seeing this girl, and she lives in Atlantic City, and he goes down to Atlantic City every weekend to visit her, right? And I try not to like overburden people with conspiracy theories. And he calls me up on Sunday. He's driving back from Atlantic City and he goes, yo, I need to talk to you about something. You're the only person I thought would know about this. I said, okay. He goes, now this girl's from Peru. She's South American. Her whole family, all of her friends are Peruvian immigrants and South American immigrants. He goes, I go to this birthday party. He goes, I walk in. He goes, I go into the house to go to the bathroom. He goes, there's 2 rooms of children. Each room has about 15 kids. The one room is the 15 kids with autism, developmental disabilities, mental retardation. And he goes, The other room are all the kids that are fine. I said, yeah, that happens. He goes, yeah, but there's something more interesting about that. I said, what? He goes, the room full of kids who were fine were all born in Peru. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, all of them. All the kids that were autism, on the spectrum, all that. He goes, they were all born in America. He goes, is it the shots? And I went, I don't know, but I'll send you some information. And I send him like this. They just had this documentary come out called An Inconvenient Study about the Ford vaccinated versus unvaccinated study.
Mm-hmm.
And they found like a 4-time increase for like asthma, behavioral disorders. Like there's a clear signal that something should be looked at there. And he goes, I didn't know about any of this stuff. And I'm like, that's like my thing. How did you not know about this? How did you not like? He goes, I didn't know. And so for the last like 5 days, he's been messaging me every day. He's like, you open up a rabbit hole for stuff that I had no idea about. And he goes, what really bothers me, he goes, is these immigrants come from other countries and they get all these medicines that they're mandated to take, and their lives are destroyed. Like if you have a kid that has those issues, like they're not self-dependent, they're not self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. They're connected to the medical system for the rest of their lives. Yeah. They might need to be institutionalized because nobody can take care of them.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't understand why we are doing this to children in the under the guise of like, oh, this is healthy. He goes, because I only had like 3 vaccines when I was a kid, and now they're doing 72. And he goes, what's in them? And I'm like, read the ingredients. They're there. I said, also, all the side effects are there. And I said, I promise you, if you whatever illnesses that these 15 kids have in that room, they're on the vaccine inserts. Could cause X. Mm-hmm. And he's getting, I think there's a lot of people waking up to things like that. And it's not anti-vax. It's not any of that. It's like, I have questions. Mm-hmm. And am I willing to like either put my children or my family or my friends do I have a moral obligation to say, think about that before you do that. Read up on that before you do that. Because there is lifelong consequences for what you're being told is something simple, something that everyone does.
Yeah.
Do you know how much time doctors spend on vaccines in med school?
I don't know.
2.5 hours.
I was going to say, I bet it's not a lot.
In 8 years of med school, you spend basically an episode of Stranger Things on what these things are.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's the only product in the world that there is no liability.
Repercussions. Yeah. For being wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's not a big thing, why is there something called the Vaccine Injury Fund that's paid out over $5 billion to vaccine injury kids?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So like once you understand that, you start to understand like,
you start to be like, wait a second, there's a few things we should question here.
It's not just medicine.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, geopolitics. It's what's going on in the Middle East. It's like what are they doing?
Yeah.
In the Mediterranean, and who's going to get rich, and how many people had to die for that?
Yeah. It's true.
Are you finding people hitting you up going like, I totally agree. I just can't say it publicly.
Yeah. Yeah. I had in one day. I had about 35 people message me privately.
In one day?
In one day. Actually, within a few hours.
I had a couple people go.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like,
I had a couple people say to me, "Yo, is Corcoran losing his mind?"
Did you?
And I was like,
nice.
I don't think so.
Nice. Well, I'd love to know who it was.
I think he's pretty on. Well, it wasn't like a fuck him.
Yeah.
It's like, because it was like this. It was like blah 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 blah, blah positivity. What's happening in Gaza?
Yeah. Well, it's just like, again, like I was to be completely honest, I didn't even realize, and I'm embarrassed to even say that. I didn't even realize.
Oh, you didn't realize that they were just destroying everything?
No. I mean, I didn't realize how bad it was, because just like I feel like almost everybody else in this country, in the whole world, we don't pay attention to shit. Like we barely even pay attention to what's going on here, let alone what's going on around the world. And it wasn't until Charlie Kirk that it really opened my eyes.
Oh, really? That was a profound moment for you.
That I started looking into some things. Yeah.
What was it? Do you remember? Oh, by the way, did you see the video of that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm
seen it
trying.
like
I'm trying
10,000 times.
I'm trying to like. My wife still hasn't seen it. I'm trying to tell her like, don't look.
I don't know how anyone hasn't seen it.
She's one of the only ones.
Like, how haven't you? I mean, I think I saw it like 10,000 times.
I saw it. So,
like, how haven't people seen? Like, if you're on social media, you've seen it.
I think
much.
I think I was pretty well. I saw the video that was. I mean, you like. Here's another thing too. Is like people don't understand. It's like, our parents like were in the 60s and the 70s, and some of them in the 50s. It's like there was political assassinations.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really had that in like 50 years. So like whether people want to hear this or not, the murder of Charlie Kirk is on the lines of like. I hate to like people are gonna get mad about it, but it's like RFK, Malcolm X.
It is, yeah, it is.
Martin Luther King,
yeah,
Medgar. Like that's on the same line. So you have to like. What did Fetterman? Did you hear what Fetterman said last night?
I did.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
and I never thought I'd be like, hey,
yeah, this guy actually said something intelligent.
Yeah, he's making a case for brain injuries.
Yeah. But yeah,
no one has seen that. Like the Kennedy assassination in 1963, nobody saw that until the 70s. Nobody saw the Zapruder film. Nobody saw his murder.
Yeah.
And this was like within like 10 minutes. I was one of the first people to see it, and I knew immediately. I'm like, oh, he didn't make it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I saw it pretty. I don't even remember like when exactly like I saw it. But yeah, I saw it, and I probably saw it literally. I'm not kidding. I probably saw it like 100 more times just from being on social media.
I saw it a couple, and I'm like, I'm not looking at it again. It's like
yeah.
I've seen
I think the first like couple times I kind of forgot that like it was about to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like until I realized like that like it was like when he had the mic up and then he put the mic down.
As soon as he puts it down.
Yeah. Then like I knew. Then I was like, okay, I knew to keep scrolling. Like not that like I wasn't gonna sit there and keep watching over. But like I got tricked a couple more times into seeing it. Not that like I don't want to say like it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I don't know. There's obviously some people that were like And when I say like this whole thing sort of opened my eyes to everything, like it didn't like I don't want to say like I'm not sitting here trying to say like it traumatized me. Like, oh my god, I saw that and it, like it traumatized
No, I don't think you were.
But like I mean, a lot of people are though. I guess is my point. And I guess hey, rightfully so. And I don't know. I'll say I don't know what it is, but I mean it. Yes, I think it evoked like different certain emotions in people, like some different than others. Like somebody might be completely traumatized by it because they just saw somebody got killed.
Yeah.
Somebody like I'll say like me for example, like I saw it and to me, yeah, it's disheartening and it's terrible and it's sad. It's all that, all the above. But like I'm not like, oh my god, I'm just gonna go crawl in a hole and be sad about it forever.
No.
But for me, like the emotion, like for me, it made me like start like looking at things, questioning things. It made me like want to understand things more. Where other people just maybe saw it and traumatized and then just close everything out and they're just like sad and miserable and whatever else. But my point is I guess it just didn't bother me like in the sense of like, oh my god, like I can't believe I just saw that. Like yeah, I saw it, but I mean I don't know. I just feel like I've been through enough shit in my life in the last few years and just whatever my whole life that again not that I've seen other people get killed. I don't mean to laugh about it, but it just doesn't bother me, I guess, as much as it would the average person.
I've seen a lot of death over the last 5-6 years. And, and it struck me. Like I remember I out loud said, "Oh my god." Yeah,
I've been in some strange situations and weird strange scenarios and things over the years that I don't know. It's I don't know. It's for me. I don't know. I'm able to. I've been in situations that other people are like, oh my god, like what'd you do? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, how do you remain calm? I'm like, to me, it's I don't know. It's different.
Some people are like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're without empathy.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I have extreme empathy. Like I'm probably one of the most. I mean, I think I'm very, very, very empathetic. But yeah, I mean, I guess just because I've been in situations of like of death and just things like again, not this exactly, but I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot, and I've had to have lots of conversations, around, I'll say, just like death and stuff like that. So like it doesn't scare me. It just doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like sure, it affects me. I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh my god, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, yeah, of course it does. Like I'm human, right? But like I've I think just because of my experiences, I'm able to process and deal with it in a different way than most people.
What was it about it that made you go like, oh
yeah? I'm trying to think of what it was that because actually it wasn't for like a couple weeks after. What the hell was it? It's gonna drive me nuts because there had to have been like a tipping point, and I can't think of the right word, but like something that like triggered to be like, oh my god, I gotta start like now I want to
look. Yeah,
yeah. I'll think of it as we keep talking here, maybe, but it's gonna drive me nuts that I can't think of what it was, because there probably was something, and probably maybe it wasn't even that significant. That's why I don't remember. But
I posted. I'm trying to remember how many. I think I got 400,000 views on what's that guy's name? George Zinn, the old guy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I posted that, and the post was something along the lines of like, this is the guy that supposedly shot Charlie Kirk.
Right. I remember I saw you post that.
Right. It went fucking big.
Yeah, I remember.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't realize until later. I was like, like later in the night, I'm like, holy shit, there's hundreds of thousands of views on this. And then it's like, oh, that's not the guy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that guy, he was saying, I shot him. Mm-hmm. And then he gets arrested on child porn charges. Yeah. And you're like,
bizarre.
That's weird. The guy that was claiming that he shot him is now in jail and can't, like, no one can have an interview with that guy because now all of a sudden, there's a pedophile at a Turning Point event claiming that he shot a guy that he didn't shoot. And you could say like, okay, like there's some crazy people out there, but like that guy wasn't institutionalized previously. So why does that guy say that? Why does that guy know the cameras are on him? He's like literally like the fifth or sixth row, and he doesn't duck, and he just like keeps going, I did it. What the fuck is that? And he's been at other things. And it's like, that's enough to make you go like, the parallels between this and like Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas in 1963 are very interesting. It's almost like a Mad Lib for like the Kennedy assassination, which makes people go like, oh, you're nuts. And it's like, yeah, but there's a lot of weird stuff that happened.
Yeah, when you draw the parallels.
Yeah, it's like this thing in isolation is not that crazy.
Correct.
But when you take all these things and put them together
and look at them side by side,
you're like, this is weird.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not coincidence. There can't be that many coincidences.
No,
there can't be.
It's
not possible.
What's the killer's name? Like that's like in and of itself, it's so insane.
It is.
It's so fucking like he has a rifle in his pant leg that he takes apart and then climbs a building.
Yeah, I gotta pee. Can we take a quick
I'll
quick
pause.
pee?
Hold on. Yeah, go pee. Can I have a quick smoke while you're doing it? Yeah. So this guy that supposedly killed Charlie Kirk, like here's a big question. It's like, so they're claiming that this guy he drove like 4 hours with a 30-06 rifle.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But go on.
That he this is the claim.
Oh yeah.
That he
it was his rifle, by the way.
So they say.
It was. No, I think it was factually. I do believe that. I do believe it was.
I thought it was from the grandfathers. It's always like always the grandfather.
Yeah,
Sandy Hook was the grandfather. It
was passed down. So I do believe like it legally was his. That's probably the only thing that I believe of the entire story.
So and that he climbed the roof, assembled a 30-06.
Yeah, assembled, disassembled, changed. Oh, and by the way, like within 60 seconds of taking the shot, he disassembled the rifle and put it in his backpack and jumped off the roof in less than 60 seconds. Is that possible?
The military people I know say it isn't.
No, well, yeah, it's not.
That's a weird.
Took the shot and then, so like literally, if you look at the video, like you can literally watch the videos are like anywhere, you can watch them anywhere. I mean, I think even like the FBI probably even shared them. Like it was like what 12:33 or 12:34 that the shot happened, and then within 1 minute, like, and the time stamp of the video, within that same minute or no more than 1 minute later, you see him running off the roof. So you're telling me that he took the shot and in less than 60 seconds he disassembled the rifle?
My question on that one is, why didn't you start the video earlier with him running across the roof?
Yeah.
Like that's my, like, why would you, it's not what you include, it's what you exclude.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that was a big
Yeah.
thing.
And like-
I'm like,
and
I want to
yeah.
see him come up from that
and,
perch.
and show the footage of the guy in the freaking stairway, by the way, because that's not in First of all, the
I
guy,
don't
the guy in
think
the
so
stairway
either.
with the hat and the sunglasses and that shirt with looks like almost like an American flag type
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like that's not him. And like, why don't they show the video?
I mean, look,
Like, there's video of that stairwell. Where's the video?
Well, there's video on the roof.
Yeah, I know.
There's all these fucking 360 security cameras,
Right.
and nobody like.
Yeah.
There should have been one right next to his head.
Yeah, like listen, like my building in Kingston, it's like 1,000 square feet, dude. I have, I think I have 8 or 9 or 10 cameras.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that.
And you're not an institute of learning.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I have 9 or 10 security cameras on that building, inside and out. Every square inch of that building is covered.
That's crazy.
And you're telling me that college didn't have enough cameras. It's impossible. It's impossible. Like how does the average person like me, like I have what I have, you know, at my business, and you're telling me that they get the hell out of here.
The one thing I don't believe is that there was like people in the audience that could have did that. That one's weird to me.
I don't think so either.
But then, like, I mean, I watched this guy, and he makes like.
What do you think? Who do you think? Or not, I don't want to say who, okay? Because that's a big, deeper conversation, I think. But what do you think actually hit him, like or shot him? Like, first of all, it wasn't that rifle.
No, a 30.
Taken his head off.
And that's what I was gonna say is like this guy does like these ballistic.
Yeah.
Things at the gun range, and he goes, "Here's a 30-06," and it was just like it was Gallagher with the fucking watermelons.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know.
And like, and that was an exit wound. I mean, I don't mean like super graphic.
I don't know.
It is. An entry wound doesn't look like that.
I don't.
An entry wound does not look like that.
So my life is like this, right? So if this way is false, this way is total certainty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never 100% certain because I have to leave room for doubt because in most things when you think like you're like this is it.
Yeah.
There's always something that it's like
true.
Doesn't make it totally what it is. So I leave that open to be wrong.
Yeah, and that's good practice.
I don't know.
I just don't believe what everybody saw. That was an exit wound.
Then that means
that's an exit wound.
Then that means something. Then that means the chain of events. I don't want to say
I don't want to say I'm 100% certain, but I'm pretty damn close. I'm pretty damn sure.
It's.
That's
I mean, my military buddies said to me like if they don't think it's a 30-06.
No, definitely not.
But
it was definitely an exit wound.
But they think it's like if it's not an exit wound and it was a low caliber bullet. A lower caliber bullet. I'm saying if.
Okay.
That it's like a 1 in a million shot.
That it could have looked like that.
That it would do wound? That. Like you hit like the main artery to the brain. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying that was like what we saw. I'm just making.
It was the left side. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm doing it on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Here, but
if they say
but you're saying that it potentially it might have been a lower caliber.
Caliber.
Calorie. I'm saying
lower,
calorie.
Yeah.
Caliber.
It was the Diet Coke of bullets.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That was an entry.
They say if it was an entry, it's like a 1 in a million.
Yes.
Yeah, but like a low caliber.
I think that's too. I from a scientific standpoint, whatever. Like I could understand that, but I just think that the probability of that being true, I think, is too small.
We're taking, but here's the thing. It's like you have to. If you don't think it was the guy on the roof, right? If you don't think it's him, then you're going under false premises to try to understand what that is. Like
I think he was a decoy.
Could have been a patsy.
Yeah.
Could have been like Lee Oswald. Could have been like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they don't. Also, his trans boyfriend has disappeared.
Yeah.
Like
it's all strange. I mean, the whole thing is strange. I mean, it wasn't him. First of all, it wasn't even him on the roof, and it wasn't even him to begin with. Tyler Robinson. It wasn't him. It wasn't him. There's no way. There's just no way. I'm sorry.
I'm leaving a percentage.
I'll leave a 0.001%.
That's what I'm
chance,
leaving.
But that's it. But I just don't believe it was him.
The thing that frightens me about that is that, you know, I am not a Trump, and I think most conservatives are not. They're not like Trump acolytes. They're not like, you know, Trump is the great and wonderful Oz, Jesus Christ incarnate. Like, they're very critical of, like, Robert Kennedy. I think it was Robert Kennedy says, he goes, if you can't question your leaders, you're in a cult. So I don't think Trump is the Messiah. Which the most concerning thing to me is, like, I voted for truth and transparency and to end the fuckery. And a lot of the people that I really liked prior to the 2024 election were people like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, and like they were telling truths and stuff like that. And
now they're not.
And that is, I'm questioning the honesty.
They're the complete opposite now.
I don't know, like, because it's always like, look, I know a bunch of politicians, and it's like it's interesting. It's interesting to be on like the public version of the story versus like the behind the scenes of what really happened. And a lot of the times the public version of the story is something that like everybody rolled with and no one told them to stop. And I don't know what happened here in like in the flurry to be first and not be correct. All these narratives get thrown out there, and then like we don't realize that like we're believing certain narratives that like the genesis of we shouldn't believe. So if we take all the things that they told us, there's a bunch of things in there that are not true.
There's a lot, and
we can't like that's what I'm saying. Like the hypothesis is flawed, no matter what it is, because of the information from the beginning that was wrong. Like there's this thing in statistics that I listen to a lot of doctors, and when they talk about like doing studies and stuff, they have this term called GIGO. Did you ever hear that?
I don't think so.
GIGO is garbage in, garbage out.
Okay.
So if you feed the system the wrong information, you're going to get the wrong results.
Yep.
And I think that is like indicative of a lot of things that happen in our culture, is that it's coming from a point of not 100% true, and then it ends up being like we all start believing a thing. Yeah, we all start believing. It's like you read a book, and at the end of it, you're making up shit in the book because somebody else told you.
Yeah, and then the story gets twisted 10,000 ways. Now there's 10,000 endings,
right? And then
10,000
you don't know the
versions.
truth of the story. You know, I think people who are deep diving it, like Candace, or I mean, look, if just 1% of the shit she's saying is true, something's up.
It's a problem.
Something's up.
Yeah, and yeah.
Those text messages are real.
Yes, they are. Yeah. There's a problem. There's a bigger problem there.
Yeah. The murders, when you ask law enforcement, like one of the most important things they need is motive.
Yeah. And there's a lot there.
I don't know if this was something that was put together like real fast. If we think it's a foreign government, there's a lot of people that think it's a foreign government had their hands in the murder of Charlie Kirk.
I think I'd say that I would think that it's likely that they had their hands in it. They may not
pull the trigger.
Pulled the trigger, but behind the scenes, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird. These are things that like we should already know, like for a fact.
Yeah,
these are things that we should already know, and we don't know it. And then you have like Kash Patel there going like, "We found him in 33 hours. We're amazing," and it's like, but what? Like what the? So this guy fucking jumps off the fucking roof with a disassembled gun, goes into the woods, reassembles the fucking gun.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah. No, nobody.
That doesn't make any sense. And you could claim as much as you want, oh, he's mentally ill. Yeah. Like even fucking mentally ill people are like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, but just the one single fact of the matter is that he disassembled the gun after he took the shot and put it in that backpack. It's physically impossible. So just
but then he reassembles it in the woods.
No, I know.
Who does that?
No, I know, but I'm just saying, but just like but I'll even go with that. I'll even go with that part of the story. I'll even go with a lot of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay, he's mentally ill and that's why he did it. Okay, that's fine. But you know what you can't argue is that he did not disassemble that rifle that fast on the roof. It's impossible. I'm sorry, it's impossible. That you can't argue. You can argue as much as anyone can say like, oh well, he's mentally ill. That's why he did this and put it in the woods and did that and then okay, I'll go with all that. But you can't argue the fact that whether you're mentally ill or not, you cannot physically disassemble that rifle that fast.
How are all those kids there with their cell phones and nobody sees them on the roof?
I think they probably did. You probably just didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, but like there are people scouring that footage. Like this is the world we live in now, where it's like the people aren't leaving it up to CNN to do the analysis. They're like, this is available to us now.
How many people are so pretend you're Charlie Kirk, okay? I'm in the audience watching you. Why would I be turned around with my phone recording this way?
Because people were all around him. There was like 360 degrees of people around him. Like nobody catches there are people behind him, dude.
Well, yeah, the people behind him, but the people behind him aren't. What are they recording? They're not really
the fucking crowd.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess like a little bit. Yeah,
like it wasn't like 2 hours into the event. Like they're like anybody who's like, holy shit, look at this.
Yeah.
You know, there's not there's like the Bigfoot quality video of somebody might be on the roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot.
That's what I mean. I have
a crazy story. You want to hear a crazy story?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Las Vegas shooting?
Which one?
The one where like 60 people were fucking mowed down.
Oh, was the guy from the guy from up in the hotel?
Yeah, it was the.
I don't really know details, but yeah, I remember the story.
So I have a friend. This is like totally legit. I have a friend who was there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she reached out to me like 6 months ago, and she goes, "Can I call you?" And I said, "Yeah." So she calls me and she goes, "You know I was at that." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You know I took videos." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I can't find those videos on my phone anymore." And I'm like, "What do you, like they're gone?" She's like, "Yeah, I have the cloud. I have iCloud. I have all that." She goes, "I can't find," she goes, "I go to that date. There's nothing there. I'm searching through my phone. I can't find the videos of that day." And I'm like, why would that be?
Did she never show them to you?
I've seen one of them.
And that one was gone?
Everything was gone.
So how did you see that one?
On her phone.
Like she physically was like,
yeah, she was like, look, and I'm like, you were there?
And you physically saw a video on her phone. And then fast forward to
a couple years later. Not there. And then I'm a crazy person, so I'm like, yeah, I remember Apple saying something about like their AI is now going to look at all your photos and your videos.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I'm like, is there something there? She could have been drunk and deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she would do that.
Yeah, like why would she?
Why would she go back a couple years and be like, you know what, I'm just going to only get rid of these?
Right.
Like, I bring that up to say like maybe that happened there.
Yeah. I think that could be true. I mean, put it this way. I mean, like, honestly, like, yeah, they could do whatever they want, man. Like, if people want to be naive to the fact that, like, people think that the government and or anyone can just tap into anything of yours at any one point. If you don't believe that, you are naive and you live under a rock. They could do anything that they want.
I got this military buddy that whenever we talk, he yells at his phone. He's like, "Do you fucking hear me?"
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
And I'm like, whoa.
I'm serious. Like, I mean, you know, I'm no tech wizard. But listen, I know enough.
Totally, yeah.
I know enough that anything is possible. Anything is possible. And like, you know, some people be like, oh, you're a conspiracy. Like, no, it's not conspiracy theory, man. It's technology. Technology, it's way more powerful than the average person thinks. And I'm telling you, man, they can tap into anything at any point and do pretty much anything that they want. It's possible.
And we're okay with that. Like, we should not be okay with that.
Well, yeah, but
they think it's that they've convinced us that it's the cost of doing business,
right?
To have no privacy,
but also like to, you know, again, I'm not agreeing, but just being devil's advocate. Like, because again, I'm not agreeing. I want to make that clear, but to be devil's advocate, what are we gonna do about it?
I mean, like, there's things to do, but
like
everyone has to do it in unison.
Sure, but
everyone has to do it together.
Yeah,
They're not.
But nobody would, because nobody has the balls.
No,
that's the thing. You know, nobody has the balls. Nobody has the balls to stand up for anything.
We used to do that. We used to be a country that, like,
yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like once it's less and less. Like, I tell people right now, I'm like, do you know how many people took to overthrow the monarchy of Russia in, what was it, 1912 with the Bolsheviks and Lenin? They're like, oh, and I'm like, it was only like 6,000 people. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Country of like 100 million people. It was 6,000 people that did that, and then like they end up killing 100 million fucking people, and it was just 6,000 lunatics that just decided to. So when you look at, like, that's my concern for, like, I don't hate Democrats, you know, they hate me. Some of them do, You know, but like that's the weird thing about it, where it's like conservatives. I'm not even conservative. Like I don't fit in a box because I'm a 93 Democrat.
Yeah.
There's no fucking. I don't have a home. There's nowhere for me to go.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be like a fucking American and just like, who gives a shit about party? I don't care.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is like the Republicans have no problem talking to Democrats. The Democrats have a huge problem, and it's not all of them,
but majority. I would agree with that.
And I think that there's a small group that has. We were talking about fear before.
Yeah.
There's a small group that has now influenced a larger group through fear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to air your dirty laundry. I'm going to do this. We're going to protest your shit. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, everyone needs to go ahead.
Yeah.
Fucking protest my shit. I don't care.
Go ahead. Try to room. Yeah, go ahead.
Look crazy.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. So that's what like doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I've been through enough. Like, it's just like shit like this just doesn't scare me. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not phased. Like, you know what I mean?
I think you're a wonderfully pragmatic person. You know, I think that like I think it's more important to you know, question things. Maybe you don't have the answers, but it's like but it has to be your thought.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't want anybody telling you what to think. I want you to go based on everything.
Yeah, which is like why I said to you before, like, hey, if I see something online, if I want to understand it more or whatever, like I'll go and I'll look things up online to try to find the evidence to form my own opinion, right? But yeah, like I just don't, you know, I don't just believe anything and everything that I see or hear, or you know, again, when someone says anything, I don't just take it as fact, like whether it's you or whether it's something I see online or anyone, you know, but even just back to like speaking out about stuff, like how, you know, like you said before, like, oh, somebody said like, oh, Bill lost his mind. It's like, yeah, sure. I know a lot of people, you know, probably think that. And you know why? It's because I've never spoken out.
Well,
that's why.
So why would you like, were you like, oh, this changes everything if I post this?
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like you thought that?
Oh yeah, of course. Because I'm no dummy, man. I've been in the public eye for like ever. I'm not stupid. Like I'm a lot. It's funny. I play stupid. But I'm a lot smarter than most.
But you had like this Geronimo moment.
Yeah,
you know, like caution to the wind. I believe this is true.
Yeah, because you know, I just like I said, like I think over the last few years, I've not that I wasn't myself like ever, but I feel like just over the last few years, you know, again, as I've personally and professionally grown, and just you know, again through all my experiences, I've you know, my eyes have been opened up to a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of things. And you know, it's just like, I've always questioned things, but I've never really been, I'll say, like as vocal or public about some things. And I just got to the point where I was just like, enough's enough. And I've always obviously preached being like authentic, and not that I ever felt like I wasn't being authentic, because I always felt like I was. It's just I've never spoken out, I'll say, about political or humanitarian issues publicly. Because as we all know, when you do that, you know, you're basically taking a stance, and people are going to put you in some sort of box, whatever box that is, and then you know you essentially get crucified, no pun intended. But I can't stand the nonsense anymore, and the fakeness and the lies and the bullshit. And like, to me at this point, like, you know, even back, like, you know, again, I don't even have sponsors on my show anymore. Like, but even when I did, like, even back then, like, I still because I do believe like in just free speech and telling the truth and just, you know, just having conversation. Like I never want to be like held to like, oh my God, like I'm owned by this whatever sponsor or that or whatever. It's like, hey, if you want to drop me because whatever, then fucking drop me. I don't care. I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, yeah, the money's cool. Money's great. I like money. Who doesn't like money? Right. But like, money's not going to change what I say or who I am. And maybe, you know, in the past, have I let it maybe influence me a little bit? I'll say, sure, I want to sit here and say like it hasn't, but at the same time, you know, like I said, I'm just sick of the nonsense. I'm sick of the nonsense. And yeah, so like when everyone, you know, may see some, you know, I'll say like some recent stuff that maybe I've shared, and people might think like, oh my God, like what the hell's wrong with him? What happened to him? It's like, no, like, you know what, I'll say like, it's just most people won't speak up. That's it. It's just most people won't speak up. So when somebody does speak up about something that typically most people wouldn't speak up about, everyone immediately thinks like, oh, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what immediately everyone thinks. You just think like, oh my God, like what happened to him? No, nothing happened. It's not like, oh my God, like did something happen? It flipped a switch. Like, no, it's like, did I not think about these things like in the past? Like, sure I have. I just never spoken up. Maybe and I also just wasn't as educated. And I'm also the type of person where I'm not really going to take a stance or maybe put my opinions out unless it's something that like I feel like I know enough about. Because I'm not. I don't want to spread misinformation. And I mean, do I if I'm wrong about some things, like, hey, that's fine. I'm not ashamed to admit like if I was ever wrong about something. And that's not even that. It's just like I just want to get to the truth. And if it means by me using my platform, I said this to somebody else that messaged me was I just felt like because multiple people messaged me that like I've never really spoken to in my life, like some local people, some not local, and they said, hey, thanks for using your platform. And it didn't really dawn on me like until like somebody said that to me, because I just go through my life every day just thinking like this is just my life.
Yeah.
And I guess you just don't realize how many people are actually paying attention, actually watching your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like actually consuming, again, like I just think it's just my life. Like it's not that interesting, whatever it is. Right. But you don't realize like how many people actually are paying attention until like maybe they say something. And like I said, I had so many people that have reached out. And again, like it wasn't until like the first few people that said like, hey, thanks for using your platform to say this or to share this. And then it kind of like dawned on me like, oh, I didn't realize. But then I was just like, yeah, well, I think the way I look at it is that like I have this platform. I have a platform that most people say the average person doesn't. And you know what, to be honest, I feel like there's a responsibility that comes with that. And I don't take it lightly. And I think it's important that if you have the ability to be able to speak out, I mean, I don't want to say that you're obligated to, but almost. I don't know. Because I just, you look at like all the people that don't have a voice. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think then that's kind of where you, like, I mean, I sometimes just feel obligated. Like, I just feel like I have a responsibility. I don't know. I feel like again, like people that don't, there's a lot of people that won't speak out for 1,000,001 reasons, right? And then, that could be a whole nother rabbit hole. But like, I just feel like, because I have this platform, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I have a responsibility to be able to use it.
So it wasn't until like the inauguration that's when I started to get a lot of people angry with me.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it was just like, that's the day where everyone's like, fuck him.
Yeah.
And I just started like the first week. So like I was a big RFK guy. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, why are we poisoning our food and fucking poisoning our air and our water? And like, that seems like a reasonable thing to not do that and to not advocate for that.
Yeah.
So I got lumped in with, they call them brain parasites and all that shit, which is hysterical. Everybody's got parasites. But the hate, I was in Florida when he got inaugurated and I was with my family. And I was like, I remember I did like this really innocuous post about something and it was just like the pile-on started.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, there's like people that come out of the woodwork that you didn't even know that gave a damn.
Yeah.
And like they'll private message you and they'll be like, hey, I pay attention to a lot of the stuff that you do and I think that you're right and blah, blah, blah. And it's always like, first it's like, thank you. And the second thing is like, you can do this too, right?
Yeah.
Like, that like you can say or do whatever you want and you shouldn't be afraid of what anybody's going to say. Like a lot of like the biggest thing for me, like, which is really bizarre, is like I'll do a post and then people will think it's about them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, they're like, I don't believe. I'm like, well, it's not about you.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is about, like, one of the biggest posts that I got shit for was I said, it's really sad that people hate Trump more than they love their friends. And then it was like the pile on of like, what are you saying about me? I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything about you. There was nothing specific about you. If you don't fall into that mold, good.
Well,
like if you don't judge your family, if you don't
clearly
judge
they do. That's why they thought it was about them.
That's the irony.
Yeah.
The irony is like,
yeah,
I don't do
something's
that. And it's like,
them.
yeah, and they only like, and it's like I look.
I mean, if you took it personal, know why they took it personal. Cat Williams said that
immediately.
on his rant.
Like you're immediately when they're like, oh, I don't, and it's like, oh, you
just
thought,
know why they took it personal.
Yeah, you're upset about this.
Yeah, it's not like you didn't post it to be a personal attack about that specific person or any other one person that maybe got mad at you and messaged you about it. But if they took offense to it, know why they took offense to it.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's something there's like a regret or something in there that
that's right.
And I don't like. I think it's very important. Well, first they're going to call you crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're going to hate you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to try to destroy you.
Yeah.
And then everyone realizes you're right. Like that's always the pattern.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for like you being in the world because like you're one of the very few people who's willing to stand up in the in the room of 1,000 people and say you're all wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't care that you don't like that I said that.
Yeah.
Because truth is truth.
Right.
There, like on the edges, there might be a little gray area, but like the core of like what you're saying and the core of what you're doing is always trying to find some sort of honesty.
Yeah.
Because look, I have this. Do you know who Michael Yon is?
Mm-mm.
So Michael Yon is, he calls himself a combat journalist or combat what? Anyways,
okay, yeah.
I had him on the podcast like a year and a half ago, and he was a big get. Like he was on Tucker, he was on like all these things, and I we were in the Outer Banks, and my buddy Corey, who's military, was like, I know Jan, we should do a podcast when we're down in fucking vacation, and I'm like, I gotta bring all the gear. Like he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. And I said to which so surprising to me that he's never heard it before. I said, I think truth is love, and love is truth. And I think that like if you love people, you will tell them the truth, and if you don't like them, you will deceive them, which is evil. And I think it's as simple as that. And he's like, I've never heard anybody say that. And I'm like, how have you never heard anybody say that? And he wrote it down. And I was like, that's a big compliment for me, for a guy who's literally seen death in like every corner of the world, especially in combat, to be like, oh, that's a really profound thing to say.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm just a stupid guy from Northeast PA who kind of figured out like you either live by that code of like trying to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could tell people the truth without offending them.
Well,
like, there's a way.
Well, I mean, there is, but it doesn't matter.
If you take offense, you don't want to hear the truth anyways.
That's correct. Yeah. If you take offense to it, I mean, again, know why they take offense to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you take offense to anything, I mean, there's a reason, and it's you. It's not the person saying it. Most times. I
tell my wife all the time. I said you can't be responsible for how people receive things.
Yeah, and how they respond. Yeah.
Yeah. You say what you say. They either have to know it's from a good place or not.
Yeah.
And then, they just lose their mind. I feel like with the mix of the processed foods and the medicines, the mental health medicines, and the IV shooting of whatever fucking gets labeled media anymore into the bloodstream of people who are incurious is incredibly dangerous. I think that the explanation of where everyone's at is, I think that it's a multifactorial thing, such as the food. Like, how many parents do you talk to who are like, I know immediately when my kid has red dye number 5, and you're like, why would you? Like, if your kids haven't, like, what else are they eating? Or the kids on like SSRIs, or the adults on SSRIs, which is or the benzodiazepines, which are amazing when you take them, but they do cause a lot of problems. I think that we're in this world now where like a lot of people are on these things, and it explains the mental illness, because there's no other word for it. We either call you mentally ill or a fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
So mental illness is kind of like the nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
And it's very concerning. Like, you can't fix it until you stop those things, until you get the red dyes and the artificial flavoring and the processed food out of your life. Get off your medicines and be a little bit grateful for some things. But people don't do that.
Yeah, and actually,
I think once you do that, you can start to pay attention, and it becomes really binary. It becomes really simple for people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just feel like, again, like back to I think you said it like right when we first started. It's like people just like I don't understand how people don't know or don't understand like what's going on. I don't know. I think about this like almost like every day, and I guess like for me, maybe it's a little bit different because like what I do, and I'll put you kind of or sort of like in this like same little category as me, like because like because of my podcast, right? Like I'm sort of like in this space. I'm sort of like in this world enough that like, I see content more than most people because content is what I do, like what we do, right? You know what I mean? So like I'm consuming more content. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people consume content, but like I know I actually know people, like, and I know names, and I know who I know when people speak, like, you know what I mean? Like there's certain names of people, like. Again, if I didn't mention the name Bill Ackman, some people would know exactly. Yeah, you're already smirking and laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the average person would be like, "Who the hell's that?" Right? So my point is that like I know these people. I don't know them personally, right? But like I've known these people for a long, long time. Like I follow, like they're all invested, like between just talk stock market, business, the world, like politics, like all of it. Like I know a lot of them, and because of that, like when these people speak, like I pay attention, and I pay attention, or at least I've been paying attention a lot more, obviously recent, but, or somewhat recent, but yeah, I guess people just, I don't know what they're doing. Like they're just, I don't know, just scrolling, watching cat and dog videos all day. I'm not sure. I think, I don't know. I mean, not that those aren't cool videos because they are too.
Well, I think they serve a purpose when you're like, oh, I think I'll put the gun in my mouth today because everything's terrible. Right. And you're like, oh, I love the
I love
Shibu
puppies.
Itsu.
I love puppies.
Yeah, I like seeing the puppy frolic in the snow, and now I'm going to take the gun out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I think the algorithm knows when you're ready to do that. I think, look, I think we got caught up on like what an authority figure is.
Yeah.
Whether it's in finance or education or medicine. And like I always go back to like the newspapers, government, medicine, higher education. And I always go like, how many times do I have to lie to you before you don't believe me? And that's the one like I kind of rolled with for like the last 4 or 5 years to kind of prove my point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not prove a point of like I'm right. It's just a prove point of like just to be skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Like people in authority lie.
Yeah.
And if you look at like the media and college and the tech space and information and blah blah blah, it's like you can probably for each one of those name dozens of times where they were dishonest.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, did you hear what Fox News said? It's like, motherfucker, like they have lied to you for decades.
Yeah.
It's like, even when a liar tells the truth, you have to be skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go, I can't believe you for all the other times that you lied. You might be right. I'll look into it, but I'm not going to just take it on face value that you are correct.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't.
You just have to learn to trust a snake as a snake.
Yeah, it's like what's the parable about like the scorpion riding the frog's back? Is that the one?
I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about.
The scorpion wanted to get across. The scorpion wanted to get across the river, and he asked the frog, and the frog was like, "Well, you're gonna sting me if I." He's like, "I won't sting you."
Yeah.
And then halfway across, he stings him, and he goes, "You said you weren't." And he goes, "But I'm a scorpion."
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, it's what I do.
Yeah, duh. You gotta trust it for what it is. You could trust it, but you gotta trust it for what it is.
Do you have a heart out?
No.
Okay. Let's hit one more thing.
Yeah.
The future.
Mm-hmm.
What's in store for you? And do you see us in a civil war anytime soon?
Hey, great ending question.
Yeah. There's a lot more people talking about civil war, and that really concerns me.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's I haven't really, not that I haven't thought about that, but kind of sort of not. I don't know. In the future,
you don't need a hot war to have a civil war.
We need a what?
You don't need to have a hot war to have a civil war. In other words, like you
True.
don't need to be like, shooting dissidents in the streets to.
Right.
Think
So I mean, then one could argue that we already.
Conflict.
One could argue that we already almost already are in one.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that too.
I don't, not to like be negative, because I feel like I'm not a negative person, even though like a lot of things, at least as of recent, I've been sharing like is negative. But
is it though?
Well, it's negative in the sense that like if when someone sees it, it's negative because I'll say it's sad. right? Like something, again, like a genocide is sad. So somebody would look at that as a negative just because emotionally.
Some would say it's fucking evil.
Well, yes, that too, right? So, but when, again, just surface level, again, depends on like what perspective you're looking at it from. But you might just think that like, oh, it's a negative because it's not a positive thing going on. That's my point. It's not a positive thing happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
The world is not a better place because more people are dying.
Right. So like it's a negative thing.
Sure.
So I'm sharing negative things.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's life. You know, I mean, I don't agree with it, obviously. Which is why I'm sharing it, because I want people to be aware of it, because there's a lot, like, I wasn't even aware of as much as I am now. And again, I just feel like, you know, up until recently, I didn't really share stuff like this, and then once I did, like, people really started paying attention to me. Maybe not that people didn't pay attention before, but
I'm hoping it's not the wrong people paying attention to you.
Well, I definitely have those happening probably now too. But
yeah,
that's a whole nother conversation. But
Apex, like, we're not going to donate to Bill anymore.
Yeah. But anyway, back to that. Yeah. So like, you know, like you said, like that's the whole Civil War thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. It's weird because, you know, some people could just sit here and say like, no way, we're not in it. It'll never happen. Because again, like when you hear Civil War, just like until you kind of made me think about it. Excuse me, a little different when you said that. Like, you know, we don't have to be in the streets shooting each other to be in a Civil War, right? Like, but I'll say like in my lifetime. I mean, I'm not you know, I feel like I'm young, but in my lifetime, I don't think I've ever seen this much division in the, not even just the country, but the whole world, but definitely in this country. I mean, like yeah, like it's I feel like everybody's living on edge. I feel like everyone's living on edge. And I feel like too, I think maybe that's why a lot of people have been like reached out and were able to relate, like not relate really to the situation, but just the fact that I've been sharing like what I've been sharing. I think because of that, I think a lot of people like just didn't have like an outlet, like somebody that they knew personally, like okay, like everybody pretty much knows who Candace is. Like we don't know her personally. Right? Like you can't message, you or I aren't going to message Candace and she's probably not going to respond to us. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't have like that
type
of personal relationship with her. Right? But if I'm sharing similar information that, like, I'll say the Candaces of the world are sharing, and if you know me, you can relate to it a lot more. And you might be more likely to believe it because you're hearing it from somebody that you actually know. So like it's a lot more relatable. And I forget where the hell I was going with this.
Well,
but my point is that like, I think I don't know.
I think what you're saying is that like I noticed this during COVID.
Oh, there was people on edge. That's what it was.
Yeah,
people are on edge.
Yeah.
And I feel like people sort of like there's like this anxiety of like people like need an outlet to sort of like talk about it. And by the way, like just for the record, for anyone that's ever messaged me, like unless like you're a total asshole, like I'm not gonna like share anyone's private messages. Like even the person that even the girl that did that wouldn't answer the genocide question, even though I said I wouldn't share messages. Like I did share hers because she was just so ignorant and decided like to end up like blocking me and leaving the conversation.
Yeah,
but
I've had a couple of those.
But you know, I still blocked out her face and I still didn't say her name. And I'll at least give her that respect, even though I
did you share that?
I did. Yeah. I shared some of the screenshots of the conversation on my story. You know, whenever that was. Like
I mean, just for the purpose of being like we need to have a conversation about this.
Correct. Yeah. So like I blocked out her. I crossed off her face and names. Like you couldn't see. Like, and it was just a couple. It was maybe like 3 or 4 messages I shared, but it was just to prove the point that hey world, like here's what's really going on. You know, and but I guess my point is that like, you know, I don't want anyone to think that like, oh, if anyone messages me, I'm just gonna like share your private opinions. Like I'm not that type of guy. I feel like anyone that knows me should know that. But my point is that I feel like a lot of people, because everybody's like so on edge, I feel like a lot of people sort of like took to it because they're like, it was almost like, oh man, it's like a relief. Like somebody I know finally said something. Like I could, oh wow, you know.
I noticed during COVID that look, I was not on the whatever the fucking state was telling me about COVID. I was on the other camp.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't at the beginning. I was all in on the beginning. Like the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, I was all in.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is, and then all of a sudden I was like something's, and it's just like, there's one thing that doesn't make sense. And then you look up that one thing that doesn't make sense and you're like, oh my God, it's the opposite of what's true.
Yeah.
And then you just start peeling the layers back of the onion. And that's what I did because I was non-essential. And you don't take somebody like me who's like one of his like top 10 favorite movies is JFK and make me non-essential because I'm just going to fucking look and look and look and look and look. But the thing that I found like really interesting is like I thought I was on an island. I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only one that shared in the questions.
That's kind of like sort of what I thought when I started sharing this stuff too. I thought I was.
You're not.
Until like I literally put something up like, hey, like blink twice if you hear what I'm saying. And that got a lot of response from that.
Well, I think that's like goes to your point of like where people, you know, the anxiety and the on edge and like the release for somebody who, you know, look, nobody's going to message you and tell you like, thank you for sharing that if they don't on some level respect you or what you do. And, you know, the messages that I have from people privately, you know, and then I see on the street, like people I don't even know. And they're like, yo, I watch your shit. Don't stop. And I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Like, this is.
So I was communicating with people, journalists from over in Gaza, literally. Like I
should have them. You should have them on, like Zoom them in or something.
I thought about it and they asked me, they're like, hey, like, would you want to have someone on? And,
yo, if you don't want to do it, I'll fucking do it. Like I will happily do that.
Yeah. So like I said, like I mean, that didn't not that the conversation didn't go anywhere, but like you know, it did stall out like a little bit. But my point is that like you know, again, like I guess people, you and I think are a little bit different than most people, but like I guess I go to like different lengths than most people. Like those are the lengths that like I'll go to. Like who else do you know that would have tried to have a conversation with somebody in Gaza?
When I was
like
when
right now, like,
when I was in 10th grade, and I was in high school, I had this teacher. His name was Mr. Cook. His name was Dick Cook. Probably one of the best teachers I ever had. And he taught global studies. And he encouraged everyone to write letters to different countries to basically get like a pen pal, right? And it was one of the most profound, like people are like high school sucks. Like Mr. Cook's global studies class was fucking amazing for somebody like me, right? And it just made me understand that like it's not the bubble.
Yeah.
Like there are different opinions. There are these different fucking, you know, ways of life. And, you know, to have the conversation is the beautiful thing. To disagree is just a byproduct of that. And that's okay because the core is the beautiful thing, you know, and I don't know. There's a lot of incuriosity. You might call it dumb, but I think it's just people who are not curious or that they're afraid.
They're afraid.
I noticed this with my dad. He's now like totally fucking red pilled. It took us 5 years, but like he's good. He was incurious, not because he wasn't curious. He was incurious because he felt the answer was going to be very difficult for him to
accept.
Take,
I think that's what it is for most people. Honestly, I think most people just don't want to face the truth because they know it's going to hurt.
It'd be difficult, but like once you start,
I know, but most people can't handle that.
I know.
And I think that's something I think I finally I realize like when I sit here and constantly question like why doesn't anyone talk about this? Why? It's because they can't. Like they literally they don't even they can't even.
There's a barrier there where it's like and my dad said that to me one day too. I said, why don't because it was very frustrating.
It is.
I'm like,
that's what I mean. Yeah, it is.
I'm like, I'm one of the few people that like loves you unconditionally. Like, why would I lie to you?
Yeah.
Like, why would I tell you things that would harm you?
Yeah. And I just feel like too, like a lot of people, either they just haven't had enough experiences in their life. Like not saying you have to go through a bunch of traumatic shit, but maybe sort of. I mean, honestly, like there's things that will open your eyes, you know, experiences in your life that like, if you've never experienced like things maybe that you or I have experienced, like, yeah, maybe they never would want to even entertain the idea of thinking about these types of things because
I think it's too dark for them.
Yeah, yeah.
I have sympathy for that.
Yeah,
you know, I don't think that they're bad people because
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think they're bad people because of it. I think they just can't wrap their head around it. Like me, I feel like I can see things at such a bigger level than most people. I can understand bigger concepts and conversations on a much larger scale, I think, than most people. And I know a lot of people are listening and probably be like, oh, this guy's like, who the hell does he think he is? What is he, like some cocky, you know, asshole?
Who gives a fuck?
But like, yeah, but like, I understand people and behavior, and I just, again, just through my experiences, like even just over the last like 5-7 years, man, like I've really just been able to I could just understand things at a much higher level than most people, like, because I actually think. Most people don't want to think. No, I'm serious. It's
I know,
crazy.
dude. I know
It's
you're right,
hilarious.
but it's just
It's
like
hilarious. All you have to do is actually friggin' think.
I'm just thinking all the people go like, "What do you mean I don't fucking think?" And
You
it's like,
don't.
you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't. And it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It is. I get so fired up about it because people literally just don't even think. But you know why? Because they don't want to. Because again, it's the truth and it hurts. And people don't like that. People don't like that.
I don't know. Like I've racked my brain on how to like break the cycle of that. And here's the other thing.
There's some like I mean interrupt you, but there's some that like don't like it because it'll harm their reputation. That's one. And then the other half, so it's half and half, right? It's half is the first half that we just said, which are the people who just like they don't want, it's too hurtful and too dark or too deep.
Yeah.
So it'll like hurt their soul, right? But for somebody who's already had their soul hurt, like it doesn't bother me. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't bother me. Like I'm good. It's like that's why I feel like I could see things. I could understand things.
Yeah, but I think you're coming from a place of that. I think that's what people don't understand about like people like you or me or whoever. It's like you're coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
There's nothing negative about it.
Right. Yeah. But I think, like I said, like, so there's like, I think it's like, maybe there's a third person. So I'll never rule out like maybe a fourth, who knows, right? But most people, it's too much to accept. Right.
Yeah.
But then the other people, it's so much they have to hide it. Right. So like they have too much to lose: money, politics, reputation, whatever it is. Right. So then there's that part. It's not that they can't accept it. It's just that they won't. Okay. Because of what's at stake for them. Like what they have to lose. There's a lot of people that have a lot to lose. Me, I've got nothing to lose. So when you have nothing to lose, you're not afraid of anything.
You're free.
That's right.
That's freedom.
That's right. So most people are afraid of the truth because they have something to lose. They got nothing to lose. That's it.
How do you convince, like, how do you persuade people to be like, you have like your wife that loves you or your husband that loves you and your kids that love you? That's all you need. Like you could live in a fucking dump truck.
Yeah.
And as long as your heart is filled,
you have to make that decision.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think that's the. I think that's.
It's like you can. It's the cheesy saying that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Same thing like with like an addict, right? You can't make You can tell an addict all day, you keep doing that drug, you're gonna die. They're gonna be like, okay, I'll stop, I'm good, but they won't until they decide. They need to decide. It's the same concept. It's the same exact concept. You have to decide it. I could preach all day long, and so could you. You know that.
Yeah.
Like you're intelligent. And all right, debatable. I mean, most people are, but they don't give themselves enough credit, right? But the point is that like you have to decide. You have to decide, and until you decide, you're gonna do nothing. You're gonna keep doing what you're doing.
I mean, that's good advice for all ages and everything. I hope that a philosophy like that or a mindset like that is the way that everybody moves forward.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Moving on,
and even if you don't agree with me, I'm good with that too.
Yeah, but what do you say to disagree with?
Well, nothing. I'm just saying in general.
But they'll find a thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like shut the fuck up. Ignore the noise.
Yeah, I guess my point is like I'm not afraid. Like if somebody wants to disagree with me, like that's fine, man. Like I don't care. Like if you disagree, like I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'm not gonna hate you. Like it's all good. Like that's the point of this.
It really is.
Again, because there's certain people out there who literally won't, like, as soon as you have a conversation, they just shut you out. It's like that's silly. Grow up.
Yeah, I was at an event like a year ago. I walk in and the photographer goes, "Oh, the fascist is here." And I was like, there's a big group of people. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, sorry, fascist adjacent. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because they're afraid.
Yeah. It's like, grow up, man.
All right. I just want to make one more point. I find it interesting that there's a ceasefire in Gaza and the people you thought would celebrate it aren't.
That is interesting.
For all the protests and everything, not one of them, maybe one of them, came out and was like, I filmed Palestinian protests. I filmed the Gaza protests. I filmed, when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
And those people who fucking, they are not saying a word right now. And it's really bizarre.
Why do you think that?
But everything we talked about.
Yeah.
They don't want to, Trump's the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to give him, look, I don't think anybody deserves credit for it because I think it should have never happened in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's not like the Israel-Gaza thing is not something that that's not new.
Yeah, it's been going
that should have never happened since the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as Trump said this. Did you hear what he said when he signed the thing? He's like, wow. He's like, it only took 3,000 years to get this done.
I didn't see that part.
You didn't see that? Oh my God! Literally signing the deal. Literally, I'm not kidding. He looks up. He's like, laughed. He's like, well, this only took 3,000 years. About time.
I hated the guy. And now the truth is, it's like
3,000 years. So yeah.
Like sometimes he does have like this self-deprecating, like humor about
like this only took 3,000 years. It's like, well,
but when you look at it, if you think about it objectively, you're like, holy fuck, this guy just and you don't know if it's gonna last. You don't know if it's gonna fucking mean anything.
Yeah.
But at least it's like something, and which is better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, stop. Trump. I think Trump won the election when he goes, I just want people to stop dying. That's all I want.
Which, by the way, I will say too about him real quick, and I know we keep saying this is his last thing, but like he wasn't pro-Israel. I started like seeing content like from back like maybe when his first time he ran or something, and he was a lot different.
Like, you have to defend it to me.
Yeah,
like I think like
he questioned all the Israel stuff. He was not pro-Israel, and now he is, and
I don't know if he like. So here's like the okay. If Occam's razor, right? The most obvious answer probably is the right answer, right? Mm-hmm. I think that he is. I think he behaves like people do in private, where it's like, hey, he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of shit I don't like, but like he's a good guy. Right. And I think that like he does that stuff where he's like, Israel's the best, blah, blah, blah. Or, he'll say Turkey's the best, or he'll say the fucking Keir Starmer's the best, or the fucking Carney from Canada's the best. And like, we all know that, like, well, maybe you don't know, but like, I know that some of those people are real pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that he knows that they're real pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But he's going to like,
He's got a
way about
play some role.
Yeah, he's not going to be there going like, and furthermore, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, like screw you guys. I hate you all.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, because that's not going to get a deal done. Like I understand that too. So there is a fine line. However,
I think
there's a lot of money also involved.
Totally.
And
I think that like look, chaos creates opportunity.
Yeah.
Destruction creates opportunity.
Yeah.
And I don't adhere to that philosophy. Like I don't think that you should fucking enrich yourself off of human suffering.
Right.
Some people do.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's evil. Trump said the other day, he goes, I don't think I'm going to heaven.
Yeah, it's great. It's crazy.
He's like he's not the Messiah. He's not the devil. He's just a dude from the fucking 80s and 90s that like still feels that like the 80s and 90s way of doing things is the way to do it. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. I don't think that I think everyone needs to stop doing like, I'm very concerned that one party's whole platform is we don't like Trump. There's no new ideas. There's no working across the aisle.
Right.
There's no, like people are starting to see it. They're starting to see that like one group is uncompromising.
Yeah. One group is just anti everything else. But like that's not a good way to be.
Look at the Tylenol thing.
It's not a good way to be.
Look at the Tylenol thing. Pregnant moms are now just to fucking own RFK and Trump.
Yeah.
Taking handfuls of Tylenol. What the
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy.
That's a religious behavior.
Yeah.
I don't know if they realize it. I don't know if they understand that like my criticism of them is not to hurt them. My criticism of them is to hopefully make them better. Maybe something will sneak in where you're like, oh, it probably is fucking crazy that I just ate 400 Tylenols in my 8th month of pregnancy, because now my baby's dead. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope that like reason and account and like just ends up being the norm. Where it's like, does this make sense? Yes, let's do that. Does that make sense?
Right.
No, let's not do
Yeah,
that.
instead of just putting the blinders on.
Yeah.
Because like I can honestly, I can objectively sit here and I can criticize anyone, any side, and not like, you know, I'm not gonna like you said, like the people, you know, they're just like the Trump haters. Like that's all that they are, is just a Trump hater. And I'm not sitting here saying
that's your identity.
Yeah, right. And by the way, like, you know, because when somebody hears that, they're gonna be like, oh my God, he loves Trump. I don't love Trump.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so like, but I could sit here, I could criticize both sides. I can you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be offended if you criticize Trump. I'm not going to be offended if you criticize somebody on the other side. I don't even know who the hell I'm going to, right? But like, but it's like, you just have to like
the biggest tell for everybody should have been that conservatives did not ostracize their liberal friends for voting for Kamala Harris.
That's right. And they do the opposite.
Liberals ostracize their conservative friends for voting for Trump.
Yeah, you're not a good person. Then you're not a good person.
That's a very simple way to look at it.
Yeah, and that's true. And if you say that to one of them, they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh my God, what are you like? Geez, what rock are you?" They don't. Yeah, but that's true.
I'll keep talking to them. I'll keep talking.
Yeah, me
to
too.
Them, you know,
yeah, but they won't talk to me. Do you know what I mean? But like, I'll talk to, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, right. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll still be friends with anyone. I don't care.
I had a Democratic Socialist on here who like thinks that like Marx and Lenin are just really fucking great people, and you know, I've realized that like 90% of the shit, the problems we agreed with, like we were there.
Yeah.
It's the solutions, and in their case, the final solutions that I don't agree with.
Sure.
You know, because I think it causes more human suffering, and that's it. You know, so like you have the conversations, disagree. You know, if you come try to fucking take away my freedom or my liberty or any of my rights, there's a reason why this country is Hunt for Red October, a bunch of buckaroos. You know, because behind every blade of grass there is a gun. Hirohito said that from World War II when they attacked Pearl Harbor. He's like, I'm afraid we woke a sleeping giant because behind every blade of grass, there's a gun. There's no organized army. These people, like, go ahead, invade the Gulf of Mexico. You will be shot and destroyed within 17 seconds by every hillbilly who've been waiting for a fight. You know? And that's the thing about here. And, like, I keep trying to tell people, we got to wrap this up. But not the second amendment thing is, the First Amendment thing to me is incredibly important because it's freedom of thought. It's not freedom of speech. It's freedom of thought. You're allowed to say whatever you want, and you're allowed to think, more importantly, whatever you want without retribution. And that is the most human aspiration. Is to know as much as you can and to do whatever you can to live a very, you know, beautiful life if you can. You can't do that under the boot of a soldier or some sort of authoritarian monster. And you know, as much as people think, you know, the arguments of like, well, second, you know, you can hunt, no, it's literally so you don't end up like Soviet Russia or Venezuela. It's against a tyrannical government. Tyrannical governments have existed all throughout time up until 1776. And I think like July 5th, 1776 was a pretty good day. And then every day after that has not been.
Yeah, you know what? One other thing too about like the whole gun thing, like, so let's just say, you know, I'm in the supermarket somewhere and some guy comes in blazing with a machine gun, right, and just starts mowing people down. If I took my gun out and I shot him and I stopped him from killing everyone else, would you have a problem with the guns then?
No. Well, right. that's my abortion argument too. So I did. So I went to real quick story. So I go to this. There's it's like a play, like right down the street, and it was a play for gun violence. And the premise of the play was no one noticed the signs of Republican boy being bullied. And then he shoots up the school, and then like, you know, you have like a couple people talking from heaven, and then the kid who was shot who was the perpetrator of it. And it's like, oh, everybody claps at the end, and I'm sitting there like, this is fucking nuts. Like, this is fucking crazy. So one of the people that put it on came over to me, and they're like, you know, you should film this play. It's a very important play. I said, I don't think I should. She goes, well, why not? And I said, well, you forgot the perspective of the victims. And she goes, what are you talking about? I said, well, that kid came in with a gun. And she goes, yeah. I said, well, where were their guns? And she goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, don't you think if you asked them in heaven, would you have preferred to have a gun that day? They would all say yeah. Mm-hmm. And she just went, well, I don't think that that's what the play. I'm like, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, when you take away people's ability to protect themselves, any kind of fucking evil injustice can happen.
Yeah. Like if I pulled out a gun and saved your life from a mass gunman, but you're right next to me and you're say, anti-gun. And if I saved your life by stopping what was happening, do you still have a problem with guns then?
They'll find a way.
Well, I'm sure
they'll find a way.
Yeah, that's how ignorant. But that's how ignorant. That's how ignorant that is. That's how ignorant that is.
Yeah, I'm for more guns. You know, but the problem is like there's so much mental illness here.
Yeah, and it is, and that's a problem. You know, I mean, like, and I'm gonna not
gonna catch-22.
It is. Yeah, no pun intended. But. Terrible joke.
Yeah, but is good.
But I mean, like, I'm not gonna, I'm not one to sit here and say like, oh no, just let anyone and everyone have them. I'm like, no, definitely not. There needs to be things in place. But at the same time, like,
I'm a firm, like, all things being equal, if it was like we used to have these things, like it was not uncommon when I was in high school to have guns in school because they had a rifle team, and everyone was taught like responsible gun users, like. Responsible gun ownership, safety, all that stuff. Like, I think that's incredibly valuable. But to take them away, my buddies, like I keep mentioning these military buddies, but it's a good frame of reference to show like, he's like, I think we should have, registrations for, and I said, dude, you can't, like, you can't register any guns. He goes, why can't you register any guns? I said, you're in the military. You're a fucking Army Ranger. You're the first guys there to fucking get rid of the bad guys and set up shop. I said, do they give you a briefing on what weapons are there and blah, blah, blah? And he's like, yeah. And I said, why do they do that? He's like, so we can be more effective. And I'm like, if you're an innocent citizen, they should not know any way that you're going to protect yourself because it sets you at a disadvantage. And if we're all equal, and tyrannical governments happen all the time, the exception to the rule is the United States. Everywhere else, like, you can't write you can't post a meme in Britain. You're gonna go to jail.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Like that's what guns are for.
Yeah,
and people forget that like when the United States started, we didn't have an army, we didn't have fucking equipment, we didn't have boats, we didn't have cannons. You know who had them? All the private citizens. That became the army, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It's like instead of going like we have the military, our taxes pay for the military. You're now part of it. You have to make a choice. You have to say, I'm either going to die on my knees or die on my feet, but we're all going to die.
Yeah.
Not to end it on a dark note. What's the future like for you? BCJR.
Yeah. I don't know. Just trying to stay out of the matrix, The
holographic universe.
Yeah.
What do you got? What's on the agenda? I want you to start.
Yeah, nothing really. Just
I don't mean to fucking excoriate you right now, but I think you need to keep having conversations.
I'm gonna keep doing that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, where I see fit. Like I'm.
If it's if
it's something that I feel like it needs to be shared or talked about, I'll talk about it. And I appreciate the people that reached out. I appreciate you having me on again. And because I miss this now. Now that you're like here right now, you're like, oh fuck, what did I do? Yeah. No, I mean, I go back and forth, but I mean, I will say like, I'll probably, I won't say I'll never not go back to it, but I will probably do some things at some point.
It's not the advertiser thing kind of sucks.
Yeah,
like having to deal with.
Yeah,
it.
I'm done with that. Yeah, that's not. So back.
It's like if you can make some extra scratch on the side to fucking cover,
Yeah.
Being a truth teller, that's the fucking point of it.
Yeah,
and you bring great perspectives of people that otherwise wouldn't have a chance to be heard.
Yeah,
and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just like, what you think this? Like, oh, that's a crazy. I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
like, that's just a fucking out of the box thing to talk about, and I just think it's important. I have people coming on. I might be doing one tomorrow. I'm doing one Monday with my buddy who's he's like a tour manager for like Snoop Dogg, and he thinks I'm a psycho. So nice. he's like we gotta do a podcast, and I'm like, at your own peril, brother.
Nice,
Like if you want to come sit with me and talk crazy shit, I'm gonna win. But yeah, it's like we have to do this. We have to. My only hope is
because
like,
most people won't.
Well, my hope is like, the people you disagree with, talk to them. Why do you feel the way that you feel?
Yeah.
Because no one ever asks that question. No one ever goes like, why did you vote for Trump? Like, we all know why everybody voted for the other side, but the other side doesn't know why anybody, they just think that we all like inherently want fascism. Like, I can't wait till we're all in the same outfits, just fucking mowing people down. That's not what it's just a fear word to make everybody shut up.
Yeah, it is.
Where can they find you on the socials?
Bill Corcoran Jr. or BCJR podcast. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys doing anything else down there? Is there anything you want to push down there? Producing stuff?
Yeah, just other stuff like privately, nothing.
Okay.
Like I'm not like, that whole like I was attaching OTS like originals to all that stuff's done. Like I'm not doing
Man, you did like a whole new fucking 2.0.
Clear house, man.
Was it cathartic? Did you feel good about it?
Yeah, I mean at first it was like a little difficult, but it's never been better. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Plus I got to really quiet my mind. There was too much noise. I was dealing with too many idiots. Not everybody was idiots, right? Because
they're dumb. Oh, they're idiots.
Yeah,
they're fucking retarded.
Yeah, just dealt with idiots, man. People are idiots. They're idiots. They're ignorant. Everybody thinks they're owed something.
That's weird.
Yeah, and no, it just man. Like my brain was just like too clouded, and like I was like I almost even lost control of my own vision at some points. I feel like I didn't realize it until like I was like kind of sort of got to the other side. But like, as more people get involved, it's just like, you just get so busy and just a lot of day-to-day things just kind of like, you let other people, and again, like, not that it was like terrible, but like, again, just like one little decision then just starts getting you more this way, and then more this way, and more this way. And you don't realize it until it's like almost too far gone, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, like I was able just to kind of take a step back, totally change course and really just refocus back and focus, selfishly back on me, on myself and just, you know what I mean? Just recenter and then build outward again. So
have you done psychedelics yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Recently?
No. No.
Well, I'll hopefully have some soon. Bill Corcoran Jr., what a fantastic human being that you are, and I'm incredibly proud of everything you do, and I'm grateful that you're in this world. So hope you had fun.
Likewise, brother. Thank you.
Fist bump it. Boom. Lock it in. Throw it out. Thanks, everybody. See you later.